All right. So I'm asking questions in my Twitch chat. I'm gonna bring that up here in just a moment. But guys, oh, BacT changed his name to BacT Married. That's hilarious. We were just saying ahead of this best of 7 that BacT has his wedding this weekend. And so if he wins this best of 7 and makes it into the main event of Hidden Cup 3, he's guaranteed to get an extra $800 even if he loses in round 1. And the total prize pool is $50K for the main event. So BacT wants to have some wedding money. I get it. The scoreboard's not here for whatever reason, but it's fine. There it is. Everything looks good. We're having no issues whatsoever. So guys, this best of 7 is going to be incredibly competitive. BacT didn't really have the biggest challenge in round 1 of the qualifier. He did play in Hidden Cup 2. Lix tried to qualify for Hidden Cup 2, did not make it in. But times have changed, man. BacT before he got given his spot based on rating, and that was not the case for Lix. He did not have the rating and tried to qualify when only 2 people could get in HC2. Now 8 people have to qualify, and BacT included in that. So will BacT show that he's worthy of being in the event again, or will Lix show the importance of having qualifiers in events like this? A very interesting matchup to start off this huge best of 7. Guys, this could go either way. I expect both players to not only perform well today, but whoever does win this best of 7 and makes it into the main event, I think they could do some damage. Let's put it that way. Lix, a Chinese legend, he's here playing as the Khmer, and then we have Franks for BacT. So interesting, no Mayans in game 1, where a lot of other pros have been choosing Mayans. Game 1 is on Arabia, and then they chose home maps. Game 4 and Game 7 are set maps that are new. Many of you guys have probably seen them already. But interesting matchup, and interesting that, oh, BacT is going to weaken the boar with his town center. Now, keep an eye on that. Like, Lix does that a lot as well. He didn't do it there. But those are the things you look for in the main event when we don't know who the players are. And those are the things to look for if you're trying to guess. So how do these civs, stack up against each other? I feel like it's going to be very even at the start. I personally, I like Franks better than Khmer. Does anyone else agree there? I like Franks better than Khmer. I still feel like they're underrated now. It's so weird how they were so good before DE, and then all the pros are just like, nope, Franks are bad. I feel like with the Forge bonus, with the Scout HP bonus, the Farm bonus, and the best Paladins in the game, they can do some real damage. Khmer do have Halberdier, but they lack the final armor upgrade. And I just, always with Khmer, I'm wondering what you go into with them. Besides elephants. And if you go elephants, then, you know, good for you. That's not easy to pull off. But can you get there is always the question. Map-wise, the big thing I noticed is Lix has this hill here. I think this hill is going to decide the game, actually. You see how this hill extends to the center? So imagine if Lix secures this. He has an extra gold. He protects his resources. He's set up shop in the middle of the map. I mean, that'd be a great hill to control. BacT, there's less hills in front of his base, which I think will be good for him in early game. But again, mid game, who controls the hills? Again, and then the one thing you have to mention with Franks is the fact that they have the cheap castles, so they can control those hills. But Lix, he'll know all these things, right? He's a capable player. And I would say the best way to... Actually, let me ask my Twitch chat here. If you've watched Lix play before, how would you describe his style? What does he try and turn the game into? I'll wait for a response, but he's unlike some of the other players in this qualifier. He's a bit like Rubenstock. Yeah, there you go. He likes to make it sloppy. Can be a bit YOLO, but he likes to make the game sloppy. He's going for 20 population scout rush, and then BacT is going up a bit earlier. BacT has even gone for 19 pop. They were both pretty greedy. They both pushed in deer. They both have all their sheep. I expect some walls and some scouts. And my question now is, will Lix build a barracks so he can make spears? With Khmer, you don't have to do that, right? You can just go straight for the stable. You see walling. You see 1 lumber camp and only 7 on wood. So it looks to me like he wants to just go for the stable. Devren, thank you for the 2 gifted, my friend. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I mean, I think the meta was very much, before GE, the meta was very much scouts, skirms. into Knight Elite Skirm, and the meta shifted with DE. I'm not completely sure. Excuse me, sorry. I'm not sure this is because of the game as much as players just realized, oh, fast ballistics and full walls is really good. It was a mix of both. So yeah, maybe the reason Franks aren't being picked as often now is because people don't play with melee like they used to, but again, I still feel like Franks are fantastic. And melee pathing has improved for sure. There's the stable for Lick. So again, he does not have a barracks. BacT has to make a barracks. And then he'll probably add some spears in defense and possibly go for a small spear push forward. Nice little hit from Licks there. He's not really... You wouldn't call him the fastest player, but getting a little hit on the Frank Scout like that is nice because the Scouts have more HP for Franks. I like the way he's setting up his base at the moment. He might even get another hit here. Now, BacT takes this fight. BacT still has more HP. Licks pulls the Vil over, and BacT runs away. This is good micro from both. And expect walling, expect more Scouts. Did that Scout take any damage from the TC? It didn't take any extra damage from the town center, actually. This is all we'll talk about for now. There we go. There's a hit. And now there's a slight lead for Licks. But this is what you can do. This is how you can punish Khmer. Before the farm bonus and everything, people could still take advantage of the fact that they could build a stable before a barracks or without a barracks. And this is how you punish that. You go for heavy spears on the front. So BacT has already walled his base. Licks, unfortunately, has to go for walls that would wall out his main gold. And he can take this gold and this stone if he needs to. But this is why I said you might want to add a barracks, because not only against Franks are you behind in HP with the Scouts, but then if you go for this style, and oh, this is so bad for Licks, if you go for this style, and they go forward spear, there's not much you can do except fight with villagers, which is not so good. So I think BacT will be very happy with his opening, and he might get a villager kill. Licks chooses to fight and send his Scouts over. That villager might end up surviving, actually. Let's see. I mean, at least... Yeah, okay, she goes down, but at least Licks was able to take some precious HP off the Scouts. I really think it's a mistake to go straight stable. BacT is punishing this, though. It's not like Licks is making a big mistake. It's that BacT is being an absolute beast here in Game 1. And... oh, you can hide inside the houses. Forgot about that little bonus. Okay, so the villager's safe for now. But Licks needs to wall further back. What an aggressive start from BacT. I really like it. Obviously, he's going to wall himself. Both of them going Scouts. You'd think mirror matchup. Or sorry, not mirror match, but mirror strategies would lead to some passive play. But he got in there nice and early, and he could get another villager as well if Licks isn't careful. Okay, now this army's trapped in here, but do you want to trap the army inside or outside? And he loses another villager. Licks is just getting massacred right now. Yes, you can hide inside the houses. That's cute and everything. But BacT is inside your house, Licks. BacT is inside your house. You better finish. Speaking of houses, you better finish this house so he can hop inside, if need be. Oh, BacT is way ahead, guys. To kill that many villagers and have Licks do nothing is huge. Very clean. Even taking the deer now for BacT. BacT will have no complaints about this. Good players make other good players look bad, if that makes sense. I can't say Licks really did a lot wrong after deciding to go for the stable. He was trying to wall, it's just BacT was a bit faster to feudal age. He went up 30 seconds faster. Used the fact that he had the extra HP on the Scouts, and this is what I'm talking about, man, with Franks. Like, now the only thing Licks can do is invest into more Scouts. And now he's fighting uphill as well. If BacT loses this fight, he's going to be fine with this. He won't produce any more Scouts. He's going towards Castle Age. If you kill villagers and then your opponent invests more into feudal age than you, that's just best case scenario for you. I think BacT will get some value. Actually, he's microing really well here. BacT is going to end up with 3 Scouts remaining. He could still kill villagers with this. This is such... BacT is playing so good. Like, I really had to ask some questions of him because after the first round, there wasn't an opponent that was all that strong against him. Well, Licks has a weak Vil there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think there's a hole, right? No. But anyways, I wasn't sure how good he would perform here. Obviously, he's a solid player. But Paladin, who was his opponent, was just not good. Another villager goes down. In fact, Paladin probably played the worst out of everyone in the qualifier. And that's saying something because there were a few sets in the qualifier that were 3-0s. Paladin, I just don't know what happened. But is this just over in game 1? Lix, who normally makes the game very messy, he's so far behind right now. Oh, someone said Huang was worse. Listen, we don't talk about him, okay? Huang he's an angel from heaven, sent to give us entertaining, rated games. Alright? We don't talk bad about Huang. There is a Vil there. Ah, BacT wants to take the hill. So, something you can do, you normally see this in matchups where it always leads into scouts into knights, is you can add spears, turn it into pike and siege, or pike monk. Now, Franks don't have exceptional siege, they don't have exceptional monks or anything. But that's one thing you can do here, and I think that's exactly what he wants to do. BacT is safe at home, so he can still boom, but also apply some pressure in a different way. Yep, there's the siege workshop. At least Lix knows about that. Wait, hold on a second. Did Sharkfin give 50 subs? It says Sharkfin Soup gifted 50 subs. Sharkfin? Is he still there? I don't know if he's still there. Sharkfin, I don't know where he's come from. But he went crazy with gifted subs yesterday as well. Sharkfin, thank you. He is there. Sharkfin, you will probably be VIP after this. I don't know. But that's amazing. Thank you for the support, guys. Spam the emotes for him, which you probably already did. I'm fully focused on these games. And I need to see if Lix can possibly come back here. Now, it's a best of 7. You lose game 1, whatever. Warm-up game, first game of the day syndrome. But if you come back in this situation, like, there's such a huge mental edge for you if you can somehow find an answer to this. But everything about this game so far for BacT has been about momentum. Okay? Faster to feudal, punished. Faster to castle, starting to punish. If the knights get in here, this is going to be so bad for Lix. And oh, the house foundation goes down! The knights will go in! This is looking awful for Lix, and guys, I feel like this could be a quick game 1. He's falling back to 2 monasteries to defend. But if the knights get in here, and they don't do damage, BacT still has a huge Vil lead. He's still booming behind it, while Lix is just on 1 town center. But the knights are getting in here, and they are doing damage. 1 villager dies there. The Maganel killed a villager there. There's a farmer there. I think this will be a very quick game 1. The 44 villagers to 34 already. Not to mention that there's 20 idols for Lix. BacT is on... He'll soon be on 3 town centers. BacT has played this perfectly. Made it look so easy. It's incredible. And sure, he might lose a knight. Maybe he'll lose 2 to conversions. But this is why, when you go for this type of a push, you add your own monks. Because the weakness is, if you just go knights and siege, is that they'll convert one of your knights, and they'll send the knight in after the Maganel. But not only is Lix not doing that, but if Lix were to do that, there's monks here waiting, and pikes as well, or spears rather. So this is why this push is so successful, because you can't really do anything against the Maganel when you're in Lix's position. Resign, man! Resign. Listen, Lix, alright? Everyone here believes in you. Every single person in the chat. Including the moms out there. Alright? So, just resign. Or just warm up. Like, you get your hotkey fingers ready for the next game. And just go into game number 2. Forget about this. Forget about it, okay? It will be a long best of 7. He is from China, so you have to expect that he'll play on for a couple extra minutes. That's just how it works in the age community. Like, if this was the main event, we'd be like, Tim! Tim! By the way, Tim and Dal on Monday, I'm gonna be so heartbroken. Either way, either Tim's not making it in, or Dalt's not making it in. That will be great, and that will also be disappointing in so many ways. It's a tough thing about a qualifier, man. Licks! You have 39 villagers. You have 2 Mangonels against your town center. Okay, he's getting redemption now. He's getting redemption. So, a counter to the siege monk push is to get redemption, and then you can convert enemy siege. I don't think that really changes the fact that he's 21 villagers behind. But he swoops in with scouts. This is probably his last attempt here. BacT doesn't seem to realize that redemption is in. And the monks... What? They didn't even convert a Mangonel! Oh my god! That was so much worse. He killed maybe 1 monk with all the scouts he swooped in with. And then his monks didn't convert anything. It's okay. It's okay for Licks. That was game 1. It was very good for BacT. Look how clean it was, man. Yes, his map was slightly better, but he was faster to feudal, had the higher HP scouts, and he punished. The spear push is punishing. You can't... Like, the thing with Khmer... If your opponent's going scouts against you, I think you need to have a stable. Or, rather, sorry, obviously you need a stable for scouts. But I think you need to have spears. Because then if they send forward spears, you have your own spears there to match it. It's not realistic for you to make archers that early, so I really think you need spears. We just don't see that a lot. Like, Khmer are very rarely up against someone else who's going scouts, or you just don't see them on Arabia too frequently in these high-level games. And that was something you would see a year ago against Khmer. That was what would punish them. Alright, more food, more wood, more gold collected. BacT is married. He's feeling good. And he is ready for game number 2. Now, what I wanted to bring up is the fact that BacT seems to have done his research. Hidden Cup 2 qualifiers. Licks vs Stark. I remember this. He picked Cup as his home map. And he went for a drush on the fishing ships, and then he went for a tower rush, okay? That's what Licks did. He won that game. Licks vs Zupi. Guess what happened? This was in round 1 of this qualifier. Licks picked Cup as one of his home maps. He did the same thing. He had this funky drush into tower rush strategy, and BacT must have realized that, and so BacT banned that home map. So what Licks does have is Cross, he has El Dorado, and he has Hideout. And we'll hop into game number 2 right now. Alright, so bear with me. I just have to get the scoreboard up and ready. There we go. Guys, welcome to game number 2 in the Hidden Cup 3 qualifiers. This is a decider, best of 7. Winner of this best of 7 moves on to play in the main event with a hidden identity against the big boys. BacT is married, and he's gone for Berbers. Berbers! Well, Pog Champ, let's go! Man, we so rarely see Berbers. I'm telling you, it's so interesting, and this is why I don't like Civ drafts, right? It's so interesting how certain players see the game differently. And in this case, BacT chose Berbers. I know Say My Name, who's also a Vietnamese player, chose Berbers on the Hideout in round 1. I like the fact we have different civs here. Licks has gone for the more traditional pick of Japanese. I don't hate it. And maybe BacT wants to have Japanese for later on, and Persians for later on, so he decided to go for this. Berbers have faster villagers. We don't talk about the civ too much. They have cheap knights and camels in Castle Age, and they have camel archers. I think the faster villagers on Cross can be interesting because these pawns are so important. Now, 2 big changes we made, or I guess I could say minor changes we made with the Hidden Cup 3 cross version. The relics are in the north, south, east, and west. And then there's a 5th relic in the center. Also, I don't know if this will be here for the main event, but there's a cross or the rock church in the center that gives you a little bit of vision. It basically just tells you if the relic is there. That's about it. So you need a balance of water. You need a balance of land on this map. Japanese are one of the best for this, because of how cheap their, not how cheap their fishing ships are, but how cheap their mining camps, lumber camps, and mills are. Now, what's interesting to me is you can't boar lane, but BacT has run forward really early, and he's stealing the sheep, and he also is, he notices that Licks is not docked there yet. You could snipe the dock villager, but again, you cannot boar steal in the qualifier. As for if we'll do that in the main event, is yet to be determined. Alright, so he saw the main gold, he saw the boar. I think he's waiting to try and block the villager. You can vill block, you just can't boar steal. But on the patch we're playing on, thanks DE, I don't think it's possible to vill block. Let's see. Let's see if BacT can prove us wrong. Alright, well, that didn't work out too much. Lix is going to bring in his boar now. Alright, oh, I love this for Lix. If he walls using the cliff, there's no potential for BacT to sneak a villager over there. And BacT is docking himself. I feel like Berbers... See Nikov in the chat. Salutes out to Nikov, who will be playing on Monday. But I feel like any Halb civilization is really good against Berbers. And so for that reason... normally it's Halb Siege Ram just destroys Berbers. There's nothing they can do. But Japanese do have the best Halbs. Or arguably one of the best Halbs. So I think this could get dangerous. If you go for Arbalest and Halberdier in the Imperial Age against Berbers, I guess their first option is to go Onager against that, but Berbers is still an interesting pick for me. Yeah, you have the Slav Halbs, but considering the fact you don't need to research Drazina. Drazina is super expensive, right? You never see that in 1v1s. I would say Japanese Celts probably. You can consider Byzantines for the cost. As always, it depends, right? It depends. FPT Novice says 7 months for the best of 7s, perfect timing. Oh yeah, that is perfect. Doug Funny, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Tilted Skirm? Tilted Skirm. Is that your first sub? I thought you've been subbed for a year or something. Might be a glitch there. Or a new Tilted Skirm. GTX Cross, thank you. We'll see the Feudal Age play come in soon. And then the question is, do you go for any land aggression? Do you try and go for pond aggression? I see BacT is on his way to Feudal now. And he's going for 2 lumber camps. So it very much looks like scouts right now, but what is this Phil up to? Oh, she's gonna sneak. She's gonna sneak. I think this is why he picked Berbers. Is this a strategy you want to use in the qualifier? That's the other thing you have to think about. I mean, obviously priority number 1 is make it into the main event. But if you have this special strategy with the sneak vill, with the faster Berber vills, do you want to reveal that you like to do that in the qualifier? He's not going to make it in because of the way Lix is walled. And Lix is going for double dock back here. And Lix, I think, is going for fast castle here. I don't see him going to Feudal Age, so seems to be the play. BacT is doing the wise thing, and he's going to scout to see if this is open here. It's not open. He sees the cliff, so he probably knows what's going on. Maybe now she'll just build houses there. I don't know. House in that stone. It's not something Lix has seen. And there's not much he can really do about it either. Alright, this is what BacT sees. He still doesn't see the walls, but he's clicked. He's for sure clicked his scout past there, and the scout won't go through. Oh, Lix, don't wall with the weak villager. Don't wall with the weak villager, Lix. No! Oh, that's so bad. It's also super unlucky because he had Loom, too. Well, BacT, it is his lucky day, man. These early feudal engagements have been so good for him. But on the bright side for Lix, he has so many fishing ships, he has a gigantic eco lead. The scout probably cannot find another vill kill unless the villagers are weak. Oh, are you kidding me? Marv, what are you doing out here? We said that you had to be on the stragglers today. It was on the schedule. No, check the schedule. It was on the schedule. It's straggler tree duty. Oh, not you, Marvino. Sorry. Still unaware that there's a villager out here. And where'd she go? She's going over here now. Maybe she'll just dock the left side. Well, BacT is going to lose that scout, but he's making more. Oh my god! At least BacT scouted this with his fishing ship, but this whole time we didn't see that there was a sneak villager from Lix. Oh, this is gonna be so annoying for BacT. Now he has to fight on water. He did not want to do this. And okay, so this is very fascinating. I don't know when that villager snuck, but sneaky sneak. And honestly, it's perfect too, because your fish is safe. You're fully walled from scouts. Wait, he's going out to stone now? What? This is such a Licks move. He's looking for the Vill because he sees the house. Why is he going to stone as Japanese? And this villager is now going to die. I highly doubt Licks is going to try and micro-nerd wall it in. I don't think I've ever seen Licks try that. No. He's played the game the same way for too many years to try and adapt. Forget about it. But now just the fact that BacT has committed to 2 dock fire gully and the pond that should be safe is a pretty big deal. There's just blue all over this map, though. I'm so surprised that Licks decided to go out here onto stone. That's such a weird play for me. He's about to click up to Castle Age, and BacT is really nowhere near. Man, that sneak Vill was huge. Like, we saw the importance of it in the north, right? Licks walled in so that wouldn't happen. That's what BacT was thinking. Oh, demo the fish! Demo the fish! It's the Licks special! Demo the fish! Alright, you got 1 fishing ship. BacT was paying attention. Good play, BacT. Licks did that in qualifier round 1 on Bay. This is so ballsy. Imagine if BacT would have built an outpost here. Licks looked for an outpost, saw there wasn't one. Like, BacT will never think that there will be villagers on that stone. That's the one exposed resource. Everything else is looking pretty good for Licks. Now, you have to keep in mind that it's just 1 pond for both right now, but BacT, since he has that land control, is going to take the water on the left. So, your land control gives you water, if that makes any sense. And you will overfish in the north here, Licks. And I guess he can go for fish traps, but still, fish traps are expensive. He is making a stable now. Is that something that BacT can see? BacT cannot see that with the outpost. BacT isn't even fully walled yet. He could have taken this time to stonewall this. Boom. Boom. Just stonewall everything. Not that you should do that, but it's an option, right? Alright, BacT reacts to the fact that there's a spearman from Licks. Will he see that those villagers are on stone now? It's possible, but he's running the opposite direction now. Still, BacT hasn't clicked up. He is going to stone, so I think he wants to go for camel archers. Guys, I have to say that this is a nice position for Licks here. Oh, and he's also docking the right corner. And that's sloppy from BacT. The fact that BacT let that happen is not going to be good for him. Because now he can diversify with that fishing eco. At least BacT is scouting the fact that the villager's here, but the villager's walled in. And the villager will get that dock up. And now BacT's like, well, what do I do? I mean, he is going to have to deal with a few knights coming out, right? But what does he do to stop this? He would have to dock. Oh, wow, that was... Speaking of sloppy, I don't think Licks should have tossed that villager away. Oh, wow! Okay, Licks! That is a slap in the face to the caster right there, because I said earlier I've never seen him do that. But he's come to play, okay. Quick walls. Beautiful stuff. Everyone's a nerd. You're a nerd, I'm a nerd, everyone's a nerd. This is Hidden Cup. Viper confirmed. New TC? For Licks? And another TC for Licks. Oh, and a sneak villager. Now there's an outpost here, but the scouts are not over here. I think Licks is playing this perfectly. Now he's lost this dock, but look how much navy is here for BacT. He had to overinvest for a pond that he should have had secured anyways. Now, I don't know if BacT sees the villager in the night. He should be able to see that, but how can he stop it? So this is shifting into, is the Japanese player having a whole lot more water control, and then the Berber player will probably go for land. Because soon BacT will be in the Castle Age, and he will probably build a castle on the front. I think right here would be great, actually, to protect the golds. And then he'll make camel archers. What's fascinating to me, though, is that Licks really wanted to be on stone. And I wonder if that means he wants to go for a defensive castle or even some Japanese towers. I don't think that BacT played this properly in some ways. He certainly didn't get the better engagements when it comes to the water. I think Licks will be very happy there. Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, these pawns are still very important. This pond here, Licks needs to fight for control, and so does BacT. Then this pond, Licks will probably just fish. We'll find out soon enough. BacT is building a very passive castle. And now, I guess realizing he'll be behind in fish, he's starting to add farms. So the only pond that BacT has safe on Licks' home map, Cross, is this one in the south. Okay, good stuff. T90 official, does anyone go for relics on this map? No, first off, this was not a map where you would see a lot of relics be brought in anyways before the change. So the relics being in the corner is a bit different, but I don't think it's going to massively change how people play it. The priority here is going to be getting conversions on knights and camels, and that's about it. Yeah, my only worry now for Licks, as he gains his big eco lead, is how does he combat camel archers? Because I think BacT is going to go heavy pressure with camel archers, and even a castle, possibly. So, Cross is such a cool map for 1v1s, because the player who has now gained the corners has had to give up the center control, right? So he's expanding his economy, that's great, but you're expanding away from the center. And as you do that, then the center can be pushed, and you can actually lose, so... what does BacT have in here? Just 2 fires? They're not even fire ships, they're just fire galleys. I think once that dock is cleaned up, Licks will take that as an opportunity to just fish here. And he has gill nets now. His eco's looking good. He actually wants to make some skirmishers. Look at this casual 1 villager TC out here. Such a Licks move, man. But he is on stone, has the stone secured. This is what BacT can see. He doesn't really know where to go. He's hoping there's fish here he can snipe. He would not have a chance against Japanese fishing ships anyways. Look at all the fish for Licks. Licks is playing this perfectly. This is exactly what you want in the best of 7. And I'd said this after game 1. Don't stress it, okay? Just go to your home map. Have a strategy prepared. So far, I can't really say that Berbers has helped BacT out much. I think he only chose Berbers for the faster vills. Or maybe because of preference. Alright, BacT. Fortunate there not to lose a camel archer. The knights are not very upgraded, so he should be able to take the knights out with his camel archers. Licks is prepping skirms. He only has 3 of them now. So yeah, it's a bit risky. He's only now getting fletching. Is he sending the monk over here to make a transport ship and get the relic? Licks would be the first person to get the relics from the corners. I feel like it's just there for protection. 81 villagers, including fishing ships, obviously, versus 57. So big lead economically for Licks. And another town center over here on this extra gold. He has so many town centers, too. He's on 6 town centers. Wait, no, 5. Oh, and BacT is gonna punish him for not having map control. Let's go. This is what you want. This is what you want to see on Cross. BacT knows he's behind. He knows he doesn't have the water eco. But he has camel archers and he has the ability to pressure. Oh, Licks is going to make his own castle here. I almost feel like the skirmisher should just hit the vills. Yeah, just hit the vills. Just to slow the castle. They're elite skirms now. And I guess this is really the only area, as Licks will now build a tower. It's a weird tower to build, but this is the only area that's disrupted from this. The gold's still going to be fine. That's good. This is why Licks needed to be on stone. I like it. I like it from both. I think that's good from BacT because it punishes the gold. But guys, now with that fish boom, Licks has so much food and so much gold he can actually go imp and just treb that down. Now he also has skirms. Now he's not even getting Bodkin Arrow now. He's not too worried yet. He'll definitely go for it, but he wants to click Imperial, then start getting upgrades, and then massing skirmishers. The skirmishers certainly are not in numbers to combat the camel archers just yet. But now what does BacT do? Now, can BacT build a castle here, possibly? Can he get a castle up there? Maybe that would do it. No relics collected yet, guys. Again, I doubt we're going to see relics become a huge factor on this map. I just wanted it to be different. It might boost melee a little bit, which is not a bad thing on this map. Melee can be good, but I don't think they're necessarily top 2 or top 3. I think Japanese Persians are preferred. I say it could boost melee because melee are going to play more towards pawn control than some other civs sometimes. If you think about how Viper plays it, for example. Alright, there's a mango. Now the skirms have bodkin. Now they have armor. Now they're getting dangerous. Lix is trying his very best to micro here, and he's doing a great job. Losing some villagers, but still ahead and still on the way to the Imperial Age. I like how he recognized how vulnerable that stone would be nice and early. That was pretty slick. And now the Camel Archers are all dying. Like, why are you picking Berbers back? Was it for the fast villagers in Dark Age? Because if that's the case, it has not played out well for you at all. And Lix is a micro god. Look at this guy go. Microing uphill against Camel Archers and a Maganel, and BacT needs to run out of here. This is worry time for BacT. Like, what do you do at this point? Your mango goes down. Trebs are going to come out of this castle. BacT is... He only has 100 food, guys. Oh, he's making a castle over here. I'm not sure about that castle, though. I feel like of all the spots to build a castle, that's probably the worst. Because there's rams inside of that siege workshop. I'm not sure if you know how rams work, but they take out castles. Yeah. Siege destroys castles. I guess he really wanted to protect that side, and it just happened to be a siege workshop there. Lix is like, well, that's great. That's fantastic. Thank you. He should probably wait for capped ram, but there's no real reason not to ram that down now. And he'll trap this one down, and I expect Lix to get a whole bunch of map control. I mean, he already has the map control if you think about it. It's just that he needs to wait for the siege. Straight skirmisher, saving so much gold. I love how Lix also did not go for just fish, and he expanded his economy elsewhere. Has some farms out there, has the extra TC on the gold. Even has a side little base on this, on the right. BacT played so good in game 1. But now, what does he even do? This doesn't have as much to do with the civs either. It's just also how Lix played it. Obviously, I still think Japanese are better. And I'm really surprised we saw Berbers picked for this. But Lix was... He took the initiative. And he took the southern corner and delayed BacT. He also took all the other pawns, and BacT had scouts out there to stop that. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much expected at this point. This castle's going to get rammed down. And if the castle gets rammed down, the houses get rammed down, the TC gets rammed down, and the Camel Archers don't contribute anything to this game. So, Berbers, exciting, yes. Glad we saw it. Was this the map for it? I don't think so. I really think that BacT wanted to try that sneak villager strategy. And Lix knew it was coming, and he walled in his pawns. Lix was fortunate that he had that cliff there to help him. You never know what could have happened without that, but I think it's a risky pick, if you ask me. Lix should see the mango there. He might be preoccupied. Kind of looks like he is. There we go. Now he sees it, and skirmishers with imp upgrades can actually be quite decent against a Maganel. And all that really matters is that you have rams behind, so the ram could come in and help, and there's just so much red and so little blue now. And now he's just putting on a show for us. A show of death as he loses skirms. But, you know, even here again, the Camel Archers, I think BacT knows he's probably in trouble now. He's over-microing them against a few vills. I don't see how long that's going to last. The skirms and rams against a civ that has cheap knights. The fact that this is working is just incredible. And who cares about the KD? It doesn't need to be pretty. Just take this hill Lix and start pressuring from the other side with Trebs now. You've done a lot of damage here. Wait a second, is that the MTC? Oh, I wish I would have been looking for that. That actually could have been the MTC. I believe it was this one. But alright, he rebuilds the town center. Really? He rebuilds the town center next to the ram. Alright, that's fine. So, Licks, you've got to finish this game off, man. We've been talking about all the good things you've been doing. I could see you want to drop a castle here. That's great. What BacT is going to try to do, I don't think he has the food for it, is switch into Cavalier. He probably can't make many, but that would counter the straight skirmisher play from Licks. So if you're expecting that, if you're going full skirm and you know you're open to the cav counter, what you can do is just go for Arbalest. Arbalest are significantly better against cav, and you can just mix in Arbalest with skirms. The other thing you could do, of course, is go for the Japanese halbs, but then you'd have to get infantry upgrades. So since you already have the ranged upgrades, it's so easy to do what he has done here and add Arb. And honestly, quite honestly, it's perfect. Perfect timing on that. Perfect positioning. He didn't send his Strebs forward too early. He's spamming from these ranges right across the center area. Well, Licks is receiving a little bit of the treatment that he received, or that he dished out in game 1. He doesn't want to give up BacT, but I just don't. Everything he makes dies. Everything you make Cavalier, dead. You make Camel Archers, dead, man. Licks is building a castle with 2 villagers in the center. That's how confident he is right now. You can't take your golds either because of the control that Licks has. What a series this is going to be. Well, now BacT can... Now, if BacT loses this game, he can just say, it's because I'm spending too much time with the wife. You can blame it on the woman now, right? That's like... It's so funny to me. It's not funny to Viper and Debbie, but I remember after Viper, like, it was public that Viper had a girlfriend, he would lose a rated game, and everyone in chat would be like, oh, he's spending too much time with his girlfriend. And then Viper shows up to a tournament, and it's like, yep, I'm still the best. But it's alright, BacT, you can use that excuse. Alright? There you go, man. And he calls the GG. The score is now 1-1. Let's go. Let's go. I love home maps in tournaments. It gets me all excited and giddy because BacT destroyed Licks in game 1. Wasn't even close. Game 2, Licks had his strategy prepared. BacT probably didn't prefer this map because he didn't pick it himself. You really have to train all of the maps, BacT. Has to be said, Berbers was weird. Berbers was very, very weird. Alright, I should probably show you this actually. We'll go back to the achievements. BacT actually had the more impressive kill-death ratio, but the lack of food was obvious. You can't let someone go for the pawns. He went for scouts, and somehow, with a faster feudal age, Licks ended up docking BacT's pond, and also Licks had the pond on the right and the left. So the person who went for stable units, for scouts, that could block villagers from sneaking, did not do that. In fact, he didn't fail once. He failed 3 times, basically, with his own pond and then the ponds in the east and the west, and that's what lost him the game. So sneaky from Licks, though. So sneaky. And now we go to BacT's home map. So, score is now 1-1. BacT has a few home maps available. It's all on the screen there, so you can take a look at that. I don't know what he'll go for here. He has Bay available. He has High Tide available, and he has Gold Rush available. Now, players seem to have been using their home maps in the order that they pick them. I'm pretty sure you don't have to do that, but maybe the players didn't know throughout the qualifiers, because I'm assuming the next one will be Bay. I don't think I've seen a single time where they're not picking them and playing them in order they picked them. But if it is Bay, you have so many civs that are good, but it's all about what civilizations you're prioritizing for each map. We've seen Mongols, we've seen Japanese, we've seen Persians, we've seen Italians before on this. We've seen a lot of different civs. By the way, can you guys hear like, the fire in the background? We did say that the qualifiers would be qualifier, but it's the game. It's the game, it's the menu that's just like burning the whole time. Well, these games have been pretty lit, so I don't think anyone can complain. And another non-mirror matchup. Keep in mind that there's a global ban for each. So we won't have Aztecs, and what was the other one, chat? We won't have Aztecs, and we won't have Chinese in the whole best of 7. But then from there, it's Hidden Civilization, free pick. And BacT has gone for Mongols. So BacT went for Mongols. They hunt 50% faster because we're using the old patch, not the new patch that was added. But you have all this hunt out here. I think that that's what BacT will try and take advantage of. Now, wait, hold on. He's also running forward nice and early to lame again that you can't bore steal. Now the question becomes, yes, Mongols are strong on land, but can they compete with Persians since Persians are more flexible? I'd say Persians, since they start with extra food and wood, could probably dock and fight for water. Now, everyone calls this map Pants now. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I will acknowledge your Pants, chat. This is Pants, okay? This is the area between the legs, I guess. Technically, it's like shorts. I don't know. But yes, if you look at the minimap and use your imagination, it does kind of look like Pants. So Persians, possibly a bit more flexible. Their town centers work faster in each age. They start with more wood and food. Mongols, they probably want to take advantage of the hunt. I just think it would be a big mistake for BacT to not fight for water. It's tempting when you have all this food to take the food with the hunt bonus and say, yes, I'm ahead. But if you do that, then you actually end up being behind in the mid game because you're giving the bay to the opponents. You see how Lix is patrolling on the shoreline? He wants to snipe the Dockville. It's possible he could get this. Man, Lix came to play today, guys. Does he see the house? Okay, he doesn't see the house. He should know, if he sees the house, that means a villager is coming to... There we go. He sees it. Don't patrol on attack stance. Oh, wait. He could house? He could house BacT. He could house BacT. Well, now BacT is going to be delayed with the dock. And he also needed to build a house here because he would get pop capped. And then on this side, BacT is trying to block the Vil, but no, you can't. BacT, you can't. Oh, he also lost scout HP. You can't block villagers, thanks to E, but you just can't block Vils. It doesn't work. That's the second game in a row he's tried to do that too. I'm very surprised. I feel like he's playing enough where he would know that that's not really doable. Whoa! Sorry, there was this fly that landed on my monitor. Hold on. This is a very lethargic fly. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. Oh, he's flying around. Anyway, he landed on my screen. And it freaked me out. I thought it was part of the game for a second. Well, BacT is docking with 2 villagers now. I mean, I have to say, yes, Mongols still have that hunt bonus. But I don't think that the Dark Age has been all that good for BacT. I think it's been very good for Lix. MBL! MBL, hello! Thank you for the 600 viewer host. I saw you were playing a show match against the Fat Dragon earlier. How did that go? Also, MBL, check your Discord messages. The cockroach has arrived. Actually, no, we don't call him cockroach, because I want him to co-cast with me. Possibly today, too. So, we can't insult the man. It'll take him a while, but eventually he'll realize that that's actually a compliment. It went 4-3, okay. T90, you missed the $60 dono, did I? Crayon oh god, I always say his name wrong. Is it Cranthony? Or is it Cray-Anthony? I think it's Cranthony. He says, been watching for years as a lurker, saw the last Hidden Cup on YouTube. I'm ecstatic to catch this one live. Thank you for breathing life into AoE2 and being such a pillar in the community. I love those messages, but when people start to say that I'm like a pillar in the community, or thank you for everything you've done for this game, all that nonsense, forget about it, alright? I'm just a nerd obsessed with the game, alright? It's you guys that do more than I do. Like, you guys have to watch, alright? You guys had to watch, you guys had to show up, you guys had to start playing again, so pat yourselves on the back. But thank you, that's a big dono, man. Thank you. No, I'm not a column, I'm not a pillar, I'm just a dude, alright? I'm just a guy. But BacT will still be in Feudal Age faster. Going for water is a pillar of this map. No, it's bad. MBL, please co-cast with me so people don't judge only me. What's the scouting like here for Lix? What do you do here? Is it full water? He's gone 1 dock. This doesn't look like he's going to fight for water control. BacT very much is. And BacT also is taking the deer. I think this is the correct approach. As I said, take the deer, also fight for water. T90, how did you decide on the size of the water for this map? We just tested multiple versions until I eyeballed it and felt like it was right. Initially, there was a lot more fish in here. We've changed the amount of fish in here multiple times. I think it ends up being 8 fish with 250 food per salmon. And then you, of course, have all the deer on this map, too. And BacT is well aware of that. He's actually scouting to see if Lix is taking his own deer. Mongols don't just have the hunt bonus, but they also have that excellent scout bonus, so they can see what's going on. I'm a bit confused. Oh my god, Lix is doing the same thing he did before. He did this on this map in round 1. He fishes in Dark Age, and then he makes a demo and tries to demo the enemy fish. And then he just gives up water. Alright, well, here's the deal, though. There's only one fishing ship. So, this is such a... Oh, wait, no, there's another one. This is such a weird strategy. Will he even make it to a fishing ship? I don't think so. Watch him use his own fishing ship to block the fire. Zoom, zoom. Alright, he sees one, he might as well just take it now. That's so weird. What Lix tried this in the previous game as well. He loves to demo. He's doing it again, man! He's doing it again! Now, BacT seems to realize what's going on and he has his fish separated. But in round 1, he killed 3 fishing ships with 1 demo. That was pretty sick. Zoopy was not expecting it. Alright, now he's just investing into farm eco. Still hasn't taken the deer. For me, this is not playing the map properly. I feel as though BacT is playing the map properly. Even if he wasn't Mongols, what BacT is doing makes more sense. But Lix has something else in mind. Okay, he'll just go for another fishing ship. He's making more! He's making more, man! He's making more. Imagine if Lix wins this best of 7. Imagine, and then we see demos on Cup. Then we'll for sure know it's Lix. No one else will do this. With hidden identities, if anyone else is doing this, it is Lix confirmed. Absolutely confirmed to be Lix. And oh, Lix, tell me you scouted the deer. Oh no, you should at least know they're there. He should at least know they're there and know if you attack the walls, now BacT will be aware that his... Oh no, he already has spears anyway. Okay. So I actually don't feel as bad about Lix's situation because his spears are already out. Nice play, BacT. Alright, so he's making a demo. He's also making a fire galley this time. But BacT has played this perfectly, guys. Protecting his villagers with the spears. He's gone for the deer. He's gone for the fish. He's still keeping an eye on water. He hasn't really gone all that aggressive on water. He was quick to add the fishing ships. There's a risk in that. And actually on this map, Lix could stand in between... Yeah, he could sit here and he could actually attack the fishing ships as they come in. Lix is... I think the best word to describe him sometimes is a pest. I mean that in the best way possible. One person's a pest, the other's the cockroach, but seriously. He just knows how to be annoying. And here he comes out with a villager to repair the dock, but BacT immediately reacts to that. However, now, with the demo, oh my god, the demo comes out, and now BacT has to be careful on water all of a sudden. Because that was a perfect demo. That was a 200 IQ move with the repair. And now, BacT could lose his fishing ships. And BacT is only producing 1 fire galley, the villager comes over to repair. Oh my god, Lix! See, this is why you clean up that dock as quickly as possible. Because otherwise, he could be right on your fishing ships again. Well, here comes that scout for BacT. I don't love the move. Oh, wait, no, the villager's weak. The villager's weak. Maybe that's why he's doing it. And the scouts for Lix are scouting the other areas of the map. Now, guys, Lix still has not clicked up to Castle Age. BacT has. BacT is also on stone as Mongols and hunting away. So, you have to consider that. And also, his fishing ships have brought in more food than Lix's fishing ships have. And now it's just a matter of how you prioritize this. I feel like you could justify going full on land if you're in BacT's position. But if you think about it, if you do that, you only have 3 farms and then however many deer are left, and there's none. So I think you actually need to go... You need to make sure you keep your fishing ships alive here. I believe that is huge. What Lix has been able to accomplish with just 1 dock on water is something else. And his mid-game will be stronger because of all the farms. Didn't take the deer at all, but maybe could build a town center out there. And BacT is losing fishing ships now. Incredible. I'm really impressed by Lix. Is anyone else? Like, if nothing else, it's just impressive that he seems to view it differently. Because there's always a structured meta in the back of my mind and pro players' minds. And look, he even splits here and micros away. It's not like he's derping and not paying attention. He's paying very close attention to all of this. But again, BacT might still be in a nice position if he gets his upgrades on water when he arrives to Castle Age. They should trade demos against each other. Alright, Lix needs to be careful. Very careful. Don't stack your fires. What's the first thing that BacT does when arriving to the Castle Age? As he loses a fishing ship. Nice pick off for Lix. I think he wants a castle. Where will he build it? Notice how he's not going for any upgrades on water. It's interesting to me. So water will still be very much up in the air. Shh, 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 shh. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Why is that villager there? I need answers. Why is that villager there? Okay, well, the scout sees that the castle's going up. What was she doing? I think he wanted to go for a siege workshop. He's adding a town center there and a town center there, so he wants to boom. I don't know what she's up to. But you know, she's walking. Oh man, yeah, she's walking away. BacT probably. He can't look. He just got married. But if he knows that villager's there, if he wasn't a married man, he would go chasing after her. Let's just say that. So castle's now up. Now Mongols can get access to their ideal unit. To everyone on the forums freaking out about the fact that Mongols got Step Lancer. Not only are we not playing on that patch, but the reality is, I don't mean to be negative. I'm just being truthful. The fact that Mongols get Step Lancer doesn't really change much about them at all. Because their best unit, their best composition, it always includes Magaday. And so, I think the mid-game worry for BacT is all eco at this point, right? He's on 2 town centers. He could be taking these deer. Whereas you have a lot of food income from farms for Lix. And he's gone 3 town centers. So I think Lix will get an eco lead. So one person has the eco lead. Seriously, what is she up to? Lix is such a funny player. Lix is such a funny player. Is she scouting now? Does he want a town center up here or what? Oh no, there's a spearman here. I don't understand what she's up to. Initially, I didn't understand why she ran across the map. I definitely don't understand why she's sitting there. But BacT has a spearman there. It's just to make sure that your opponent's not on the extra golds. Archer range. What? Oh, he's making elite skirm. Okay. So he doesn't want to make knights. He wants to make elite skirm. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just kind of awkward to make 2 knights, get bloodlines, and then stop producing them is a bit weird. And now you're going to be investing into elite skirm upgrades. But the way the walls and town centers are positioned for Lix will keep BacT away from his base, but BacT could maybe build this next castle in the center. Oh, she's building a town center. Okay. Well, there she is. T90, look at your subs. 69, 69, 69, 69. What? I don't know what to say to you guys. You realize this isn't the main event, right? You realize not that these games aren't good. I don't want to make my own event look bad. But this is just the qualifier. Iron Spark. Oh, man. Who knows what that prize pool is going to be looking at? Because $1 from every subscription goes into the prize pool, and that includes gifted subs, so... Iron Spark, thank you. Did you guys already see it, chat? I think chat already saw it. Thank you, guys. Seriously, it's very much at the point where there's no words to say thank you to. Whoa, 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 whoa! Spearman scouted the town center. But I don't think the Pointy Boy has a chance. She's very much out of his league. That town center... Wait for it. Hey man, go for it. Go for it. The worst that can happen is she can say no. That's the worst that can happen. Get her! Get her! Oh. See, and now you leave. Alright, now you just leave, alright? You went for it. Now you just have to peace out of here. That was hilarious. The timing on the timing on that. Yeah, it's right. And now he leaves respectfully. That's the way to do it. Now, here's the issue with going skirms and knights. You're kind of going 50-50. And if you go 50-50, while your opponent's going for their ideal unit, normally doesn't play out so well for you. And I think flooding knights would make a little bit more sense. It's just, this is where actually having faster working TCs can hurt you, because your TCs are working faster. You also want your town centers to be producing vills at all times, so that's more food you're putting into vill production. And BacT has gone for the right move here, and I definitely feel like he might even castle drop in this game. It's not easy to push Persian town centers because of the extra HP, but having some mangonels next to the Mangadai is the way to go. Now, Lix is on stone, but only with 4 villagers, and obviously he does have this extra gold out here, but he's under a lot of pressure right now. But man, that's the 3rd Mangadai that BacT has lost to the town center fire. That's extremely sloppy. We'll put them on no attack stance or something. Also, I didn't mention it, but you've probably seen that BacT did end up adding fish on the water. And BacT is sending villagers forward to drop a castle. He's still losing Mangadai to the town center, though. With only this many Mangadai, I mean, this is Dowd Castle territory. This is actually quite risky. We have elite skirms with bodkin and armor, and then we have knights. Oh, this could not work for BacT. This could be a Dowd Castle. I think Lix will go to stop this. I really do. Use the knights against the mangonels, and then use the skirms against the Mangadai. And here we go. BacT is going for the forward aggressive castle. Lix, how's your micro with the skirms? How's your micro with the skirms? It's good micro with the skirmishers. No, BacT! BacT, no! Will it be a Dowd Castle? It's at 80% now. 85%. Oh, man. This is a nightmare for BacT. Seed 7 in the qualifier versus Seed 10. And Seed 10 is showing what he's made of. The castle is denied. Doubt is glorified. And Lix will build his own castle in remembrance. Beautiful. And now, all of that extra eco is really paying off. Now you have so many farms. 36 farms. You could actually go imp in Lix's position. Now, BacT wouldn't have been as wasteful with the Mangadai. I still don't know if that castle goes up, but he would have more of a chance. Just imagine if he did have a second castle. He could have at least castled defensively, but he felt like offensively was the way to go. And that eco kicked in and the defense was stellar. And now again, we'll probably see a similar result. Though the start to this engagement was not so good for Lix. Yeah, that actually was a pretty good fight for BacT, all things considered. But I think you just heal your units up, you go to the Imperial Age, and you know what you shoot towards? You definitely shoot towards Cavalier and Paladin, and probably Trash Bow. Now, what's funny about this map is, Lix benefited from not expanding much, right? And BacT tried to punish him for that. But if you don't expand, look how many people he has on wood here. So you need to expand to wood lines, and to golds and stones. So, if that castle went up, I feel like he would be in the game, but he'd be way further behind. And he also wants to expand out here. There's the Spearman. That Spearman will go down. So we should have the gold income, and now BacT is on the way up, but BacT has lost Mangadai numbers, which is the key for Mongols. This is danger territory. Now you have some fish traps for BacT. I love that. That will help out. It's always an option for Lix to come back on water, but I don't think he should prioritize that at all. Dogal's in the chat. What's up, Dogal? Spoilers at this point if you didn't see the games yesterday. But it's kind of hard to avoid it when we have so many games. Dogal, happy for you, man. Dogal's going to go places in the main event. Okay, this is not a fight you want to take. Mangadai are just insane. Yeah. Good micro from BacT. That's how he's going to bring his way back into this game, is full Mangadai. Needs all the upgrades, and then he can think about making other things. And Lix, no need. Absolutely no need to take that engagement. None. Just keep the knights alive. Keep the knights alive. No, why? Why you do this? Why you do this? There's no need. Just wait for your upgrades, man. Wasteful. MBL, did MBL say something now? What did MBL say? MBL said he's going to co-cast Velez vs. Rubenstock with me today, right? That's what he said. Well, I can tell you, let's say Lix makes it into the main event. Let's say he wins the best of 7 today. Can guarantee you that no one wants to play him round 1. Yes, you know, the top 8 who are already guaranteed a spot and they're in the main event. I know that they're more than capable of beating Lix and many of the other players out there, right? It's just how competitive the scene is, but Lix is an annoying player to play against. Again, you're fighting before crucial upgrades. He does have armor. I don't like the engagements that Lix is taking. It's like he wanted to take advantage of the Imperial Age, and so he ran in. I think maybe what you can do here, Cavalier, they don't need to be in one spot all the time like Mangadai. So you could patrol along here, and then mass units in the middle. Paladin's on the way already for Lix, so I guess he didn't go too crazy on the production of the units. He went for the upgrade first. Macho, it has been a hot minute since I've seen you around, man. He says, with 11 months, just one more month to get 12, might actually make it. Macho, thank you. Nice to see you, man. Chris and Heavy W, thank you guys, and Hex also for the new Twitch Primes. Oh, this is going to be a sick game. Let's check relics. BacT has 2 relics. There's no relics for Lix. Lix has extra gold out here, though, which is better for now. Paladin and Elite Mangadai. This is a post-imp dream right here. Mangadai are so insane. Uh-oh. Do you want to fight this? This is the thing. Even with Paladin, thanks to E, why are the units not running? Even with Paladin, you can't engage against like 40 Mangadai. This is 23, but the Mangadai numbers are going to go up. And for both players as well, you're looking at civilizations where you want to get wins. Persians and Mongols are top tiers. So if you lose with whatever civilization you're playing as now, depending on the player, that could be rough for you later on. Like Persians could be used on later maps, and you could say the same about... What is she doing over here? There's always one, Lix. There's always one. But yeah, you could say the same about Persians. Okay, now Paladin is in. They're not quite fully upgraded. Blast Furnace is on the way. I think what Lix is going for is to take out the castles. He realizes how dangerous it is to fight against Mongols. So he wants to sacrifice some Paladins, patrol in, and treb down those castles. And he's not making the mistake you saw from players in the past of trickle trebbing. He's not just starting with 1 treb. He's starting with 3. It's a great decision. Now, can he keep the production up? Can he keep the numbers where they need to be? Can he drop that castle there? Can Lix finish off BacT? Or will BacT hold? That is a lot of Paladin, and BacT only has 23 Mangadai on our screen. That was the number he had a moment ago. He seems very concerned with walling this up. Who knows if that will actually work. He'll lose a castle. This is not good for BacT. 180 population for Lix. He has more military. And the Mangadai are just not in high enough number. Now, if you're going for pikemen in BacT's position, that's when you know it's bad. Because Mongol pikemen are not good. They don't get halb. It pikes against Paladin. Maybe if you have 50 of them in front of Megadai, it accomplishes something. Only concern for Lix now is how many he's producing, and you can see the production here, 4 at a time, so it seems like it's only 4 stables. Could probably bump that number up a little bit, but there's a lot he's doing now. Lix just, you need to get the trebs on the castles, my friend. BacT is hitting and running and hitting and running and hitting and running. BacT does not have the production he needs. He does not have the space on a map where it's all about expanding. Think back to that failed castle. Imagine if BacT would have been able to get that up earlier. He could have possibly had more Megadai numbers. Wow. Is Paladin expensive? Yes. If you can afford it and then produce, it's fantastic. Forget about trash bows. Forget about everything else. Full Paladin. BacT only has 10 Megadai. That castle's going down, for sure. It very much feels like it's game over. How do you come back from this? He doesn't have stone for more castles. He doesn't have wood even to make Megadai. And BacT on his home map loses to Lix. The guy who has the wacky strategies. He went for the weird demo water play. It delayed BacT. BacT ended up getting water anyways. But at that point, Lix thought ahead and went for a crazy farm boom. He denied the castle. He expanded to these golds super early. Lix is a beast. In game 1, BacT brutalized Lix. It was pretty much over 13 minutes into the game. But Lix has come back, and the score is now 2-1. Amazing. Amazing stuff. I'm really curious about the food count here. Wow, that's crazy. Persians. Only Persians. 24,000 food in a 44-minute game. 15,000 gold. I wonder how important that villager was. In the north, getting that extra gold secured nice and early was huge. BacT had the stone, but of course he lost 600 stone with the forward castle. And I think he definitely needed more Megadai numbers to have a chance there. Once the Persian eco gets rolling, if you're not damaging them, if you're not pressuring them, it's trouble. So like, the logic from Lix was probably, I'm not going to go all in on water, because that doesn't last very long. Instead, I'm going to disrupt BacT on water, which he very much did for 5 to 10 minutes. And then, as I'm doing that, because remember, he invested less into water, significantly less, I'm going to farm. And he farmed way earlier than BacT did. Interesting. Whereas BacT was Mongols, and he took advantage of the hunt, which is great. He had 97% of the map explored. He did all the things that Mongols do, but the economy was too strong for Lix in the end. Woo! Someone says this is what happens when you get married. Yeah, that all the married people who are watching right now, the reason that they're unable to be top 10 in the world, top 20 in the world, or top 30 is because they're married. That's the only reason. Huang donated $10. He says, this game, how I wanted to play, so bang, so good. I don't think that's actually Huang. Is that Huang? I don't think that's actually Huang. However, thank you, Huang, very much. And please salute Huang, just in case it is him. HighLink55, thank you for the Prime. Thank you, Xylophone O, for the Twitch Prime, and Eldry, hello. Saying hello with some gifted subs. Alright, guys, so now, Slopes is the next map. BacT cannot go for Mongols. We've seen a lot of Indians and Mongols on this map. So I assume this is just going to be an Indian war, right? I feel like this is just going to be an Indian war. The only reason you wouldn't pick Indians here is if you're going to save Indians later on. Alright, let's get into it. Ladies and what? Slavs? Lix is an interesting player, man. Lix is going against the grain again, and he's gone for Slavs on a map where I expected it to possibly be Mongols or Indians. So Lix is up 2-1. He goes for Slavs on Slopes, which was a set map. If we make it to Game 7 is set as Ravines. And BacT has gone for Indians. Now, I just thought of something. I'm actually going to tab out of the game for a second. Take a look at this. Lix is a mastermind. Look at the maps and the bans for a second. Global ban, BacT, globally bans Chinese. So if we get to El Dorado, which is one of Lix's home maps, Lix will have Indians available on El Dorado. You can't pick Chinese, then Indians could be better there, because that's another map. There's actually more food there with fish on that map. So we'll talk about that more in this series. This whole thing's going to YouTube in one set. But if you haven't seen this map before, it is amazing. And you, what? You can't do this. You can't do this. What did he misclick it? I think BacT realized you can't do this. This is against the rules. He's running the wrong way. I think he, oh my God, he made a mistake. He either misclicked it or he realized, oh shoot, I can't boar lame. Well, the boar's not being lamed, so he just lost HP on his scout for nothing. Yeah, you cannot boar lame in these qualifiers. And that would have been an admin win. I guess the admin said, well, he just put himself behind and the boar's still there, so we'll let it happen. Oh, that's so bad. I cannot stress to you how bad that is. Well, BacT weakens the boar with his town center, as some players do, finishes it off with the villagers. At least he's still Indians. So as it stands, there's deer in the north, and there's deer in the south, and then there's fish in the east and west, okay? Indian villagers collect shorefish faster. That's why we're talking about Indians so much. And then Mongols hunt faster, which makes Mongols good for here. But Lix hasn't used Mongols yet. He might be saving that one as well. He's gone for Slavs instead, and I feel like the approach here is to forget about... Wait, is he palisading that because he wants to lame it? Or is he palisading that because he wants to see if BacT is over there? Because you do get vision if you place palisades. I think he's just palisaded that so we could get vision. Interesting. And I believe that what Lix will shoot for is a stronger mid-game with farms, with Slavs. Instead of a stronger early game with the fish or the hunt with Mongols or Indians. Alright, so... What's funny about BacT's situation with the scout is that Lix probably didn't realize his boar would run away. So if BacT runs by Lix, Lix won't immediately go to attack if he didn't realize that. This might be one of those things that the players just never even talk about after the fact. I'm really glad we didn't see an admin win though. Can we at least be glad that Lix wasn't like, "Oh, you're stealing my boar," and then, you know, call the admin win. Which he easily, I think technically he could have done that. But he is ahead now because of that. And he sees that BacT is not taking the shorefish at all. So will BacT take that later? And you start with 2 boars, he pushed in some deer. That's nice. Whereas Lix is going to go up later, I imagine. You have to go for feudal age. You just absolutely have to. Alright. Lix sees the lumber camp, so he knows that BacT is probably up. That is the norm here, guys. Now, Slavs was the choice of, what was it, Winchester against land yesterday. On this map, it was Slavs versus Indians. So some players are thinking the same. I personally, and here we have Lix scouting to see if there's any vills out here. I personally feel as though, I get the logic, I need to see it more before I can really form an opinion on it. If you wall your base and you go for early farms, I can see why you might do it. And if BacT doesn't take advantage of the shorefish at all, then there's really no difference. I mean, sorry, there's no huge benefit to having Indians in this matchup. Indians still have very cheap villagers, they still can go for fast scout rush and all that, but I feel like now Lix is just gonna wall his base. Eventually he needs to expand, but the fact that BacT has not gone for the shorefish at all is very odd. Shouldn't you lame the deer as Lix? It's a strategy. That's idle time to send a villager forward and shoot it, but you could do that. Could also wall in the shorefish like we talked about earlier. Does anyone else feel like the building positions from BacT is weird as well? The way he built his barracks and his house on his main gold bothers me. And the stable now is in front of the stone. You could build it over here. He's using the golds and the stones as walls. I've seen that in a few low elo legend episodes. It's nice because you don't have to wall as much. Again, I can see the logic. But where are you going with this BacT? What's your long-term plan? He still has that gold in the back. Like, this gold is fine. It's probably the gold he would go for anyways. I doubt Lix is going to go for this main, except with maybe a town center. He'll probably take this. Lix is probably confused. Why is the scout weak? He probably has no explanation for that. That's funny to me. And BacT has now gone to the shorefish now. Okay, so you're taking advantage of the Indian bonus now. That's good. And what's also interesting is that Lix might assume that he's never taking it, because he didn't see... Oh no, look. That's why you place Palisade like that. It gives you vision. Yes, you have to spend the wood, but you can see anything that stands over top of it. He's collecting fish from the sand. He's going for crabs. Be careful you don't... Oh, God, you're gonna... Dude, you're gonna get your buddy there. Be careful. Okay, so Lix might pressure that area then. Just Age of Empires things. Lots of walling to be done. But the walling is happening. Lix is even going for little quick walls here. And he's farming. Notice how there's no farms for BacT. So this is the strat with slabs. Now, I saw a bunch of practice games. Daniel sent me a bunch of practice games he played versus other opponents. And the players were experimenting. These are all players from the qualifier. They're experimenting with different ways of playing. Now, some of the players he was training with are still in the event, and I'm not going to talk about who it was, so I don't spoil anything. But some players would practice with not taking the deer or the shorefish at all. And when I spoke to Daniel about it, I said that I think those resources are almost a tease sometimes. You think you should take them, but you don't necessarily have to take them. Stronger early game, sure, but if the mid game's weaker, there's a risk in doing that. 28 villagers for both. Remember, no villagers were lost. BacT is now adding an archer range. Again, my concern for him is actually the food economy. We'll see how strong those shorefish actually end up being for him. Because he doesn't have near as many farms. The slab farmers farm faster. I still think they're underrated. I talked about it yesterday. Hey, is Dogao still here, by the way? Dogao, are you still watching? I have a question for you if you are. Samuel says, what's this emote, lol? Well, we have the T90 mom emote because every time Dave is here, he always asks for all the moms to show up. And Dave hasn't been here for a little while, so I think for the main event, when we're trying to break viewer numbers, we need to have the moms here, alright? It'll also make sure Dave's here. Will the main event be casted live all in one weekend? The main event will be over 4 days. 19th through the 22nd, Arcspert. Okay, so no real pressure. Oh, wait, that's a Vil. She's a forager with food. Is this a misclick? Oh my god, I think he... Guys, this is a misclick from BacT. Are the nerves getting to him? This is just a straight up misclick. I can tell you what he did. He wanted to make sure he was fully walled. So he clicked a villager out of his walls, forgetting he had a gate. That's the best way to find holes in walls, but you need to lock the gate before you click out. And so he tosses that villager away. 700 food for BacT, and it's 500 for Lix. And this food will run out eventually, but again, Indians seem to be a very good pick for this, because that is still going to be an insane time. Oh! God damn it, why did I... Sorry, 1 second. Alright, it's fine. My phone already had a few cracks in it. It's fine. So, the worry now for Lix is he doesn't know that there's an archer transition coming from BacT. So he's in a nice position mid-game. You have siege to slabs, you have knights to slabs, it's all good. Going knights against Indians, not so good. That's no bueno. But the concern for him is, will archers surprise him and overwhelm him? He did take the side gold. And that's something that BacT has not scouted yet. But if BacT goes over there with crossbows, it could be extremely damaging. BacT honestly has not had a great game by his standards. He He made that mistake with the boar. He threw away a villager. That's just sloppy for this level. You would not expect it. And he's also down 2 games to 1 right now. And good micro from Licks to take out the weak scout. Seriously good stuff. So is it too stable? Oh my god. Licks is going to get so surprised by this, guys. I think he wants to go Pike Siege. Pike Siege is an interesting one on this map. If you go Pike Siege in the center, it's great. But if the archers arrive before you get the siege workshop up, it's bad. Yeah, he's adding more spearmen. This is going to surprise him, and this castle time for BacT is going to be massive. I also love how BacT is not showing Licks. He's distracting Licks to the scouts, and he's not showing Licks what he's going for. Shh. Alright. T90, was the mom emote a joke, or are you actually going to upload it? Well, we have it right now, Glorious. I spoke to your mom. She said she didn't want her face as the emote. I said that's fine. I respected that. I kind of like her, but we added that one. It's a fake mom, and she's thinking of Dave. So, is either your mom thinking of me or the fake mom thinking of Dave? Oh, okay. I have a prediction. Licks wants to TC this. Imagine if he builds a town center immediately. Oh, this could be so bad. He might delete the palisade walls too, so he can place a good town center. Oh my god! This is perfect for BacT. This is your wedding gift. Congratulations on the wedding. That is your gift from Licks. Now, how he didn't kill more villagers there, I'm not sure. Licks at least can go to this gold. How did he not lose more villagers? No, you still can't build this, Licks. I'm sorry, but that's just going to be straight up denied. Beautiful play from BacT to add the crossbows. Yeah, he wanted to go Pike Siege because he was expecting camels, I believe. Or he was hoping he would be in Castle Age faster. But that's good damage for BacT. And now at this point, he's actually going into Cav Archer and a few camels. With proper micro, I really like BacT's position. And Licks actually has to... Oh, this is huge. Licks actually will have to delete this town center if he doesn't address this soon. And if he does that, he doesn't get all of the resources back. Nice TC for Licks on this side, by the way. But he won't get all the resources back, which means he can't go for a new one right away. He would have to collect stone first. Oh, this is going to affect the rest of the game. Can he get to that town center? 60 HP. Okay. He's put more HP on it. He's house walling behind. He has the scorpion. This is pretty well played from both. Repair the scorpion now. But Licks is just, it seems like he's falling apart. He has so many idols. This is not what he would have wanted. BacT might not have had the best start, but he actually has the stronger mid game. It's funny, you would think Slavs would have the stronger mid game because of the farms, but due to the positioning from BacT, it was fantastic. This is why I was surprised that Licks took this gold. I feel like he could have started on this gold originally. Not saying he wouldn't have eventually gone for a town center here anyways, but good micro from BacT, man. He has turned it on after the slow start. And I believe he will town center the left side now. So that's actually going to be 3 town centers for BacT. And you can see he has a slight vill lead too. He's also over here with Cav Archers and a camel. So the mobility of Indians, just fantastic for this. Despite Slavs potentially being very good if they take control of the middle. There's so many scorpions, there's pikemen here, but BacT doesn't care. He kills another villager. Can he get that one? Doink! Wait for it. Doink! Oh, this is huge! Licks can't keep up with it. It's 48 villagers for BacT and 43 for Licks. What a series. What a series this has been. This is so sick. And I love the forward siege. Some players might shy away from going for the forward siege workshop because you're against Slavs who are very good with that. But I think it's a good move here. Because it's all Scorpion for Licks, and if you can continue to pressure this if you have a Magano or two. This is honestly so bad for Licks, but he does have farm economy expanding out here. Indians can struggle against Siege Ram, Halberdier, Onager, all of the goodness that Slavs can offer. But man, BacT is having a field day here with his micro. And Lix is defending well, considering the circumstances. How fast do you have to be able to control multiple armies and still boom behind on 3 TCs? That is ridiculous. This is unreal stuff from BacT. Easily his best performance today right here. His army's everywhere he needs to be. He reacts immediately with the monk. Does not get a conversion, fortunately. No, he does get a conversion. Has the camels waiting. Has the crossbows waiting. This is unreal from BacT. Very impressed. And actually, I think the mango, he needs 1 hit. Will stay alive as well. Ridiculous play. Now, the town center finally goes up. But it took 10 minutes to get that thing up. I love games like this. I love games like this. And somehow, the Vil count is still relatively even. Now, the idle time was disgusting. That was not so good for Lix, but he's still alive. And he's building a town center on the left. So I love this map so much. Because whether you... Oh, this is an idle villager for BacT. I don't know how long he's been there. But you can take the center and take the golden stone control. But you can also die if you don't expand to the outer edge. Awesome. Well, you have gold now if you're Lix. You have wood. You have farms. He's adding a stable. Seems to really want to add some knights. Maybe knights and pikes and siege could do it. Yeah, I think that could make sense. Beautiful micro from both of them there. Lix didn't take any damage at all. And we're looking at 89 population for BacT and 75 for Lix. Now BacT, you can tell that he was focusing a lot on the micro. He has 14 villagers on 5 trees. Really needs to expand more. I do love the fact he's on stone, which means we could see a forward castle at some point, and Lix is not on stone at all. But I would say the economy, at least, is better for Lix when it comes to the food eco. 21 slab farms versus 12 farms from Indians. So it's more of the approach of investing a lot of wood and gold into siege and cav archers right now for BacT. But if he lacks the food, then he might lack the Imperial Age. He might lack a lot. This could go either way. And we could be looking at another Doubt Castle if BacT tries to go for it at any point. Because if you get a lot of good engagements with the siege and pikes, like full siege pike is really hard to deal with when you're up against slabs. They can create so much siege. How did Lix catch up in vills? Well, he lost villagers, but I think BacT probably had some idle TC time when he was producing, when he was fighting. The micro looks pretty, but if you're unable to keep your villagers producing at the same time, I think that's the struggle. Also, the big thing I noticed is while Lix was dealing with all of this on the right side, here he was booming and he was adding farms. So he was losing some, but also expanding at the same time. Pretty incredible from Lix to be able to do that. I'm seriously impressed with how Lix has played today. I expected this to be close. I expected this to go to 7 games, and it looks like it could, but Lix is playing way better than I would have expected at the same time. And you could say the same for BacT, game 1 and this game as well. But we'll see if he can close it out. He's now starting to expand farms, which was going to be the key, like I said. I think one thing that BacT could possibly be doing a bit more, and it's tough because you have to do so many things at once, but it's probably just harassing Lix more. Like, for the first time in a long time, he's actually broken in a wall. And now in the middle, he's going to struggle. Oh no, BacT. The second he sends his cav archers over to the left, Lix is going to clean up the siege. He's got knights with full armor. He has pikes with armor and attack. Now this does hurt for Lix, but Lix takes the score lead, and I think Lix has enough to clean this up, no problem. How is Lix winning this game after that awful start to Castle Age? What a beast. What a freaking beast. And now you start to sweat when you're Indians. But guys, remember what I said about the home map. If you beat Indians here, which for most people is a clear pick, and then you have Indians available for El Dorado, which is Lix's home map, I think Lix has an instant advantage going into the El Dorado as well. So BacT has to win this, otherwise he's at a disadvantage in the next game, just based on the strategy choices with the Civ picks. 93 villagers for Licks, 102 for BacT. We haven't seen the Cav Archers accomplish too much in this game, let's be honest. There, the Cav Archer takes out the Siege. But there's another Siege Workshop for Licks, and I think he'll go for another one! And he has the Knights here too, and the Knights have armor. Normally, you don't want to go Knights against Indians, but BacT went for Cav Archers, and the Knights are just going to flood. This is the Slav flood. I don't think there's ever a situation where Slavs shouldn't spam all-in Castle Age for map control. This is about to get out of hand for BacT. He's sitting in the gate. I think Licks will just follow him. Licks will just follow him and say, thank you very much for letting me in here. Oh no, BacT. Maybe he'll hold in the choke point and with the TC fire, but on the front, this is dangerous. There's some good micro from BacT. Can he get another one? Licks isn't paying attention to this. Uh-oh. Beautiful micro from Licks. Okay, so that's actually quite good for BacT because he stalls it out a little bit. He does clear up those Knights. There's a monk just chilling over here. What's up? What's going on with that? If you attack with one Vill, that's a conversion. Okay. Alright, you just handed a villager to your opponent. It's like BacT has the stone to castle now, but he doesn't have a position he actually wants to castle. He would wanted to castle here, but Licks pushed at the proper time. Slavs are so sick with all-in Castle Age pushes. And now he's castling behind all of this. But what does that secure? Guess he has no choice, but... oh man, the losses he's about to take are going to be unreal. Maybe not, you never know. A few villagers die, a few Cav Archers die, a few camels die. Oh, this is so messy for BacT. Oh, this is ridiculous. 145 population for Licks. It just won't stop. Do you consider going Imp now, or do you still flood? I think you still flood. Just fight underneath the castle. You almost have full upgrades on the Knights. You have Pikes and the Rams. Just pop them out of here. And you could pressure the left side, too. He's going to do that. He has a Ram ready on the left side as well. This is an unreal performance. But, you know, as I say, do you continue to push? It does seem like the Rams are not enough. The Pikemen will die to the CA. Whoa. 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 Did you see that? They teleported. That's actually a known bug. We've reported that. So maybe instead of pushing the castle, you push this side of the economy. BacT, he was so idled there. You probably know he's not on his way up to Imp yet. And BacT has... this game is so good. BacT has 20 military now, and he has camels and CA, which in theory do counter everything that Licks is making. This is awkward. Licks was winning there because of pure numbers and spam, but now maybe Licks needs Imp. Otherwise, he could be in trouble. But he does have a TC on the right. So TC on the right, 2 on the left, and then 2 in the center. Big economy. And there he goes on the way to the Imperial Age himself. So what does BacT gain from the Imperial Age? I feel like he's obviously going to go for Cav Archer upgrades. It seems like he's still making more of them. Cav Archer and Camel is great, but it can struggle versus Siege and Halberdier. But it always depends on how you're using them. Like, if you can use mobility, it can be good. It just hasn't been easy for BacT to use his mobility at all because Licks is the one pressuring. This is a dangerous area now for BacT because he has to deal with this, but he also feels like he needs to pressure the center. Probably need to do a bit of both. A big thing to point out is that Licks has not been heavy on stone, so he does not have his own castle, so he can't make trebs. And he has actually gone to this stone, which I don't think is the best stone to be at right now. Yeah, we'll see about that. I think this is winnable for BacT. It really is. With proper micro, we saw the micro in early castle. I think this is winnable. Especially because Licks is so exposed in the center, and... oh, BacT wanted to build a castle, but he's focused on the micro, and those villagers are dying to Knights. Whoa, friendly fire there. Licks just killed 3 of his own Knights underneath the town center. Here Licks has to fight. What a map. I love Slopes. Slopes is amazing. Produces some ridiculous games. How are the villagers doing? Okay, the villagers seem to be doing alright. It's really the economy where there's a difference right now. 132 eco for Licks. So he should be able to get those upgrades that he wants. Will that Mangonel go down to villagers and a camel? Will it go down to villagers and a camel? It will. And now the villagers pay a price. And there's so much idle time for BacT. It's crazy. He does have stables on the right. I just don't know if he has the economy to do much more than what he's doing right now. I don't think he has the eco to go for camel and cav archer. I feel it's inevitable that he's going to lose the left side to what will soon be Cavalier. There's no real reason not to go for Cavalier if your opponent doesn't have camel as Indians. These villagers, there's 25 villagers. BacT would go below 100 vills. He has to address this. BacT cannot push the center because Lix is on the left side. Well, here he arrives with some CA. There's rams and there's there's scorpions. The scorpions are actually getting some amazing shots, and it could take care of most of that. And now there's a castle from Lix. I know it sounds fanboy right now, but it's genuine surprise that Lix is playing like such a beast today. I thought BacT 4-3. I think I said Lix 4-3 yesterday, but I was mainly doing it to root for who I would have considered the underdog. They're so close, but BacT is falling apart. Oh, and he'll have Trebs to deal with soon as well. And to beat Indians on a map where pretty much only Indians was the pick for high-level players makes it so much more impressive to have El Dorado available for Indians later. I mean, that's what I'm assuming, if we even get to that point, right? Of course, that is one of Lix's home maps. Well, we would get to that point if there is a chance for BacT, right? BacT would have to win some games, and then Lix could go for his home maps. Can BacT get enough out onto the field right now? The capped rams he will deal with. The Trebs, I don't think he has anything to dive underneath the Trebs. He's trying to go light cav. No, he's trying to go into camel. And well, we have that weird graphic bug again. Let me see if I can fix it. Fixed? Okay, good. Okay, so now you go camel. That's better. Camel will help you against the scorpions. Camel will help you against the cav. I did see these stables on the right, but they're getting cleaned up now. Lix spotted them. Lix has one relic, and he's working on getting his second, by the way. And BacT does not have any, as far as I'm aware. No, he has no relics. And most of the gold is sprinkled in the center right now. There's just red everywhere, and blue is just responding. What a ridiculous game. I don't know if you saw yesterday's games, but this so far has easily been the series in the final rounds. Again, the winner of this best of 7, guys, will be in the main event of Hidden Cup 3. Win or lose here, BacT still has plenty of games that can play out. But I think Lix's game plan is to raid with stable units now and just have one big ball in the center with Halbs and Siege. Yeah, just keep moving, pressuring on either side. It never allow BacT to be in a position to raid you. All of BacT's military is just responding now, and he has to. Lix is forcing him to every single time. 150 vills for Lix, and you might think that's crazy, but if you have 50 military that's fully upgraded, the best possible military, it's worth it. That leaves you 50 pop space to make Siege Ram and Halb. Or Onager, whatever. It's totally worth it. Siege Ram's on the way because of that eco. 63 slab farmers is no joke. You just wait for Halbs in the center now. Now, the downside of that is that you won't have pop space for military, so if BacT can get... He has 120 vills, so if he can get 80 military, maybe he can hold. But look at Lix! Lix is everywhere! He's raiding here. He's been raiding over here. We've seen that before. He's pushing in the center. Lix is everywhere. This guy, he's not seen as a fast player, but BacT just can't keep up with it. What a freaking comeback. This is an unreal game. That castle's going to go down for BacT for sure. With that, he'll lose pop space. He might get housed because of it. If that castle goes down, then surely this castle will go down. Unless BacT feels like it's a wise idea to dive in against the Trebs. I almost feel like he has to dive in against the Trebs. Because there's no Halbs there now. I think you have to. and kill as many as possible. He's just getting suffocated, though. Getting absolutely suffocated. He takes out one trebuchet. Can he take out a second? BacT will... I think he gets that, right? He gets 2. The BacT has just as much military. But can he deal... Now there's a castle from Lix here. So, more trebs probably, an area to protect his trebs. Rams coming in. You're using villagers against rams. That's when you know it's bad. Look at BacT's economy. It's a wreck. It's a wreck. He has 30 idols. He doesn't have secure gold, except for this, too. And he also only has 1 relic. So... At Lix, every time BacT reacts and defends an area, Lix hits another. So now Lix... This is incredible play. Now Lix is just going to ram this TC down and send Light Cav there. While he's dealing with the other side. This is truly unreal, guys. Beastly play from Lix. I'm so impressed. Okay, maybe now you stop producing vills, though. Maybe now you have enough to just stop. 155 vills is a lot. He is also lacking the gold, despite having 2 relics. Because they're both like back and forth fighting in the center. I think Hussar is needed instead of just Light Cav. Look at these vills go. I mean, give BacT credit, he is rebooming a little bit on the sides. And he's done a great job keeping the Cav Archer numbers alive. Hussar's now in, okay. And perhaps now this is where you just need a little bit of patience if you're Lix and wait till you get more Halberdiers and Hussars in the center. And then continue to raid on the right, yeah. Raid on the right, send Hussars into the main farming eco. And then here, just a bit more patience. Instead of sending in unit after unit, just wait till you have a big ball of them. Yeah, again, the Hussars are hitting the gold spot. That's perfect. 14 on gold for Lix. He does have it right here. He's gone for a heavy Scorpion! Lix is a legend, man. Lix is a legend, and he wins the game. BacT taps out in game number 4. The score is 3-1. This is all after BacT started off the day with a victory. Wow. That is how you counter Indians. That is how you play slopes. Guys, I genuinely believe there are ways. I said it at the start of this game. There are ways to counter Indians. And there are other areas to move Indians. This is not a Mongols only map. This is not an Indians only map. There are ways to beat it. How many people with the show of ones thought Lix was dead when the crossbows arrived to the town center? I thought it was over. Like, BacT goes to town centers. Lix's town center's delayed. Villagers are dying. I figured it's GG. But the mid-game of Slavs, the farms, the ability to expand here. Like, maybe if BacT went here but also prevented Lix from expanding, then it's GG. But Lix expanded and got these town centers. I think these town centers here won the game for him. It definitely did. There's so much food. Let's see. That's ridiculous. So yeah, you get a faster you get faster food income in early game with Indians and Mongols on this map. But in the mid game, look at that if you get the sides. 37,000 food, 36,000 wood, had more gold collected. Obviously, if you collect a lot of food and wood as well and you don't have gold, you can sell that and get some gold in return. That's always an option. What a performance. I don't think BacT ever expected to be facing Slavs there. This is maybe what Vinchester was thinking yesterday when he went for Slavs and it didn't work out against Lan. So now the score is 3-1. If Lix wins the next game, that means that Lix will be joining players like, well, all the players at the bottom of your screen right there. Hera, Leary, MBL, Tato, Max, the Viper, Vivi, Yo, Lan, and Dogal. He'll be joining the main event. Seems crazy to say that, but that's exactly what would go down here. So, BacT has High Tide, and he has Gold Rush as his home maps. We will see one of those for game number 5. I'm actually just going to take 60 seconds here to drink some water and relax, because we have another best of 7 later on, after this, between Rubenstock and Velez. I need to pace myself. Hello, The Biz. Thank you. I know this series has been awesome. Oh. I can't really say that that map is similar to Acropolis. Vils Kill Mills. I mean, yes, you do need to expand, but there's so many different elements to it. The only thing that's similar is that there's a rocky slope. Tata, thank you very much, or Tattoo for the Twitch Prime. I'm just going to say all the names, all right? It doesn't matter if you've been subbed for 3 years or 3 seconds. Warlord, Cursed, Hank Day, Doobie, TX, Darth, Zyrel, Lego. Thank you, Sharpshooter, Samurai, Gornian, Shooter. Guys, every single sub is just tacking $1 onto the prize pool for Hidden Cup 3 main event. Thank you. Do I think BacT should have played more all-in? No, I think he just should have prevented the expansion. But it's hard to say. BacT played good in that game. It was not that he played bad. All right. What am I missing here? 1, 2. I have obviously these are Rex. Okay. Something was bugged, right? Okay. So next game will be game number 5, and game number 5 here it is. So not a map that we've seen too frequently, but we have High Tide. This is one of BacT's home maps, and if he does not win this game, and then the next game, and then the game after that, he is not participating in Hidden Cup. I forget if BacT participated in Hidden Cup 1, but he definitely did in Hidden Cup 2. And BacT is one of those names, and I mean this with a lot of respect, BacT is one of those names throughout the competitive scene that has been included in tournaments kind of based on reputation, like Hidden Cup 2, and it was also based on rating. But if it's just based on ladder rating, it depends who you're playing against. It depends the time zone you play. For example, if you're a European pro, you're more likely to face off against some of the bigger names and not have as much rating. And so there were big names in Hidden Cup 2 that didn't get in because we had the 14 highest rated players in, and then we had only 2 that could qualify. Well, here, the 8 biggest names voted by other pros got in, and then 8 have to qualify. And I think we've seen already, based on this series, that there needs to be more qualifiers for events. Players have to earn their spots. Otherwise, someone like Lix, who seems to be doing outrageously well, would not get to participate. And that's exciting for me. It's exciting for me that Lix is getting to play and play so well. Now, this is High Tide. I'm not sure why BacT chose it, but this map is called Wild Bactrian Camel, so he has the help from Gaia. These Gaia camels in the center will maybe give him the win. He's gone for Japanese. I think that's a solid civilization here, and then it's Malians for Lix, which is also a solid civilization. So this is how I think the map plays out. It's definitely more campy. We have closed maps and we have open maps in Hidden Cup. But I kind of expect them to fight heavy for water. So Walt's Villager out here and dock. If that happens, you do have to keep in mind that if you dock this shoreline, any land aggression like scouts, man-at-arms, anything you send this way can still hit the fishing ships. But I think the safe play, especially as Japanese, is probably to fight for water. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm going next level prediction. I'm going to try and predict this whole game. You ready? Here it goes. They're both going to dock. They're both going to go fast feudal to win water. BacT is going to win water. Oh, quick wall. Beautiful. Beautiful. Otherwise, he would have lost that villager. Then Lix is going to go 2 Monastery, 1 Siege Workshop in the center of the map in Castle Age and go YOLO pressure. That's my prediction. I could see it playing out that way. If you think of Bay, Lix really likes to transition off of water to lands. And since players are so close together on lands, I feel like that's a good approach. We'll see. But I'm shocked. I thought this would be 2-2. We're going into game number 5 to make it 3-2, but it's actually 3-1 Lix. I am shocked. Malians are pretty good on water as well, right? They might not have the same type of flexibility as Japanese, but still, all of their wood buildings are cheaper, so they can save resources, make more fish, make more navy. And I like the rest of their tech tree a bit more. They have Champion, they have amazing Light Cav, they have amazing Camel, Cavalier. But I still feel like because they're going to be fighting in one spot on land, it's almost more suitable towards Japanese. Because the weakness of Japanese on land is the lack of mobility. And you could go Halberdier, Champion, Samurai, Trebs, Arbalest, all those strong options that are quite slow. Cade, I'm with you. He says he's rooting for BacT because he wants us to go to 7 games. I'm with you, man. This is what I mentioned earlier about docking here. This is going to be so annoying because now Lix has to sail away with the fishing ship. Japanese, you don't have to worry too much, but that's some idle time. Every little bit counts. This is why I think players will probably send a Vil here to dock when they go for their second dock, and then that can't happen. Nice play from BacT. Lix will probably either do the same or send his scout over to defend from that. Okay, well, now it's a Japanese fishing ship, so you're doing 3 damage a hit. It takes forever, 120 HP. This is so stupid. Like, it's smart. It's why, like, the reason we added this is because we didn't want water to be too strong, right? So it looks dumb, but if we don't add this, then it's just full-on win water and you have no other option. And I should mention there's also gold and stone and relics here for the person that does have water control. But alright, they're both doing it, and I would say that BacT has benefited from that. What's super interesting is if you're going for a second dock, the enemy scout is out here. So where's the Vil? Look, it's happening already. I think Lix is going forward. It's happening already. Yeah, he's going forward. He does not want to fight for water here. Is he on stone? Not on stone, he's gone to golds. BacT will be in feudal age faster, and ooh, BacT is making militia. So he might even go for man-at-arms. So if BacT is in feudal age faster, that means he'll get a little bit of extra speed there. And he might win that scout war if they end up fighting. Forward barracks for Lix. What is the plan, Lix? T90 official, is 1 relic roughly equal to 1 gold miner? Yep. Yep. Now, with the camels here, if you see them move around, you'll actually know that there's something there. Let's see if we can see an example of that. BacT is trying to go man-at-arms, but he doesn't have the food for it yet. Fascinating. And BacT, I believe, assumes... Wait a second. He'll see the spearman now, and he sees the house. Okay, so BacT will now know something's up, and he does avoid that spearman. He doesn't seem to want to check this out, though, which is weird. See how the camels move? There's a hole here. Oh, BacT, you've got to check, man. You've got to check. Okay, and now there's a tower. Now, Lix scouted that gold. This is actually what I envisioned with the map. You can take water, but then you give up so much important control of the rest of the land. So, Lix has gone for an early forward. Uh-oh, Lix. I don't think Lix saw the militia, and that's a weak villager on the gold. BacT could get 2 villagers at least here. If that one's weak, that's 1. Well, now Lix is off of gold. BacT might be off of gold as well, but beautiful play from BacT. It ended up working out. I think BacT needs a defensive tower here soon. And Lix needs a whole bunch of walls. Now, BacT should be better off because of the fishing ships. Lix is still fishing, though, and that's a bit sloppy from BacT to allow him to do that. And that is precious food. And is this tower too late? I'm not sure what I think about this tower. Lix is going to just attack the tower with his villagers and then send archers in here. I don't like this for BacT. I think this is quite bad. At the same time, though, BacT will get another villager and oh, Japanese man-at-arms are so strong. He gets 2 more. Will it be 3? Probably unlikely. But that was beautiful, and a ton of idle time as well. This is as messy as you would have expected. Lix will lose a forward villager as well, so he's... Oh my god, he's way behind in eco. Look at those numbers. I think the important thing here is that Lix does have some archers he could send in. He is not on stone, though. And if he's not on stone, he can't build any more towers. So was it too YOLO for Lix? Or will this actually work? And say goodbye to your fishing ships, Licks. Again, I think BacT should dock here. If you dock here, then you have very unexposed fishing ships. But BacT, he doesn't have stone. Oh, it's panic time! He doesn't have stone either! Not for a tower, anyway. Oh, no. Oh, what a mess. Okay, at least he took care of one archer. That's good. But these archers have fletching. Oh, my goodness. Well, again, this is what we envisioned for the map. We weren't envisioning it to be quite this messy, but we thought that if a player goes aggressive like this, there can be some benefit to it. Should you give up water entirely? Probably not, but if you get in, there's definitely benefit. And BacT's land eco looks awful. Now, can Licks somehow get back on the water and snipe fish? I just, against Japanese, I don't think it's possible. BacT, guys, he honestly seems really frazzled. Like, frazzle-dazzled, man. And Licks is going for farm eco. There's a real possibility that Licks could have a solid uptime and continue the forward. And like I said, Monk Siege. Keep in mind that BacT does not have fletching, so if Licks micros properly, he could stay alive here, but it's too tempting to take Vills. I think he needs to catch up, so he'll go for the Vills and gets her. But that might not be it, right? Without fletching, Licks will micro, Licks will dance, and Licks will take... Oh! 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 She's so weak. That's funny. Alright, Licks will not take that Vill. What's the walling for BacT right now? He really seems frazzled. What a disastrous economy for him. But he is making some archers, he is making some skirms, and he can counterattack. So, Licks, you either need to make defensive units, or you need to wall your base. And there's a lot of walling yet to be done here. There's a pointy boy out here poking the fish. 39 eco for BacT, 31 for Licks. Can see what Licks was thinking. Was it too much, though? Was it too YOLO? It's what he likes to do. He's done it before, he'll do it again. BacT almost doesn't seem comfortable pushing out at the moment, and now he'll be off of those berries. Yeah, I'm just looking at the amount they have on food. It's only 9 for BacT, and it's 13 for Licks. So, if that's the case here, I think Licks should now sense that BacT might be going for a counter. In fact, he's building a market here, so he might find out the hard way. But if that's the case, yes, fishing ships are great. Licks is using Malian spearmen to poke fire galleys down. That villager goes down. What? Marv? How is Marv alive? Oh, the camel. The camel. Oh, the camel's helped. Nice job. All right, so the market's delayed. What will the uptimes be like? BacT has skirms, he has fletching, he gets a good start to the engagement. Yeah, this will be better for Licks. I think army numbers in the center is how Licks is going to win this game. Yes, BacT has the fish, but it gets slightly more inefficient as the game goes on, depending on how he's docking. And it really could be a dangerous push coming from Licks. Licks actually rebuilt a new market and just left this one here. That's funny. And now he's getting wheelbarrow. He'll probably go heavy on golds. I expect YOLO. But, oh, BacT. Okay, he's still doing okay here. The worry for me is that BacT is only going for fishing ship food eco. I'd like to see some farms as well so he could mix it up. But with those resources, I think with some market abuse and he's about to go for it, he could have a faster castle time. And he is also producing archers out of 2 ranges. There we go. Okay, so if he's producing archers out of 2 ranges, Licks needs to get up soon. If BacT has a farm he's not even using right now to prove my point. Licks did not forget about water. He's been doing his best to go back onto water, but BacT was already so far ahead there, and I love this dock. That's hundreds of food that'll be coming in no time. Alright, BacT, use that market. Oh, Licks is up slightly faster. But will Licks have what it takes to deal with these archers? BacT could actually loop the whole way around. Oh, that'd be so pro. If BacT doesn't even show Lix that he has these archers and he just runs around, that'd be so good. Yeah, don't show him, BacT. Don't show him. Run around. You have the water control. Kill the skirm. Beautiful. Wait, Lix has the dock, though. Wait till you take out the dock first. Wait till you take out the dock. Now go. Now go. Just stay away from the houses, because with Town Watch, houses give you some vision. Uh-oh. Lix saw these archers. Oh, and BacT is going to just join the rest of the group. Alright, so he will get a good engagement from this. This is actually very good for him with the army numbers. Is there a worry, though, if Lix still has the forward villagers? That is now my question. Still feels like BacT could be okay here. Lix, it's not like he can go only aggression if there's this many archers. Lix also can't track those archers easily. Now, skirms with armor, very tough for archers to kill. However, they're only talking 4 units, but the micro nerds. Beautiful micro from Lix. Alright, Lix needs to pull these units back. He needs to patrol them. He is not walled at all, so if those units get in, it's danger. BacT has a gigantic economy lead. But look. Look at this. Lix is going back onto water. He hid the docks. How many fishing ships does BacT have? He has 10 on this part of the screen. He has 10 fishing ships. If Lix goes all in water and BacT isn't expecting it, it could be Lix's chance to come back. BacT still looking around. He knows that could be bad for him. Just finding those docks is huge, because now he knows to upgrade his navy. We're still only talking 4 fires, so BacT, if he reacts immediately, could be okay. He's actually going for knights with his archers here. And then the other way you look at it is, if BacT says, whatever, I don't care about water anymore, goes to land eco, and then goes for land pressure himself, and goes crossbow knight, Lix doesn't have enough to deal with that right now, so Lix is just planning on booming. My prediction was wrong, sadly. If I'm Lix, though, I just snipe fishing ships. Don't even fight on water. Just snipe fishing ships. Find them and snipe them. That's 14 fishing ships, which is essentially the eco difference. I love the knight choice. I really do. However, Lix will see it. Now, what he does against that, it's got to be walls, monastery. It's tough. It's really tough to fight the composition that BacT has. Japanese fishing ships are not so easy to take down. A few have gone down. BacT still seems to be defending, though. He's defending very nicely. I have to give BacT a lot of credit for scouting those docks, because if he didn't, it could have gotten out of hand a whole lot faster. And so he's still fine. Again, my worry is he farming? So he's starting to do that a little bit. He's adding a second TC himself. Lix is in this game, but BacT is ahead with some good pressure. This is ridiculous to me. This is so exposed. But Lix doesn't run away. He doesn't wall. He's just like, whatever. I have skirms here. And I know that you're going to try and engage against my skirmishers, so I won't wall. In fact, I'm going to commit to another lumber camp there. Uh-oh. Sneaky fire. BacT, you've got to clear up those docks, my friends. They're not doing anything now. Suddenly, this is a little bit closer. In each and every game, Lix has gone for better mid-game. If you think back to Bay, BacT went for faster feudal. BacT went for the, he went for the deer. Lix had a better boom in mid-game. Previous game, Lix had a better mid-game. Whoa, a castle from BacT. Nice. I was wondering if he was going to build one. A castle and then a TC. I like that. As long as BacT can keep that mid-game economy strong, he has much better army composition right now. Well, I've been having fun. I hope you guys have been having as much fun as me. These games have delivered today. BacT is ahead when he needs to— Oh! The god. Split. Not the best split ever. Doesn't matter. Still has the knights here. Still takes out the Mangonel. Still will take out the skirmishers. Well played, BacT. But yeah, BacT is delivering on his home map when he has to. I'm sure the pressure is on for him. Takes out the monk. No problem. We're looking at 80 population for BacT and 61 for Licks. And it's, yes, Malians have options, but I brought it up before. What do Malians do against Japanese? If they could try to go champions, Japanese have better champions, or they have samurai. They can't really go archers. I guess you could go gunpowder, possibly. Guys, has Licks chosen Japanese yet? I don't think he went for Japanese, right? He did not go for Japanese. So he didn't go Japanese. He didn't go Mongols or Indians yet either. Right? No Mongols for Licks. He could go Indians on El Dorado. I'm thinking about the upcoming matchups. Maybe Mongols for Ravines if we take it to Game 7. Seems like Licks either sees the game very differently or he's just saving civilizations. But I don't know what he can do now. I really don't. At BacT, it still worries me. His mid-game worries me, but he has fish still. He's still fishing. Now, your score inflates big time when you have water control, but Licks just calls it. He doesn't even try and fight at this point. He knows that against Japanese and against the fish boom, he's probably going to beat Imp later, and he can't deal with it. So, BacT gets his win. The score is now 3-2. Let's go. AoE2 Hasa says Japanese on cross. Oh, he did choose Japanese on cross. That's true. Okay. So he went for Japanese already. Yeah, forgive me for thinking ahead, but you kind of have to in this. And now the score. Looking good for a potential Game 7? If BacT can win another one? Maybe? I'm skipping through the achievements there because I want to move on to the next game. We do have Velez and Rubenstock in a best of 7 later. And if you're watching on YouTube, that will be uploaded as the next video, most likely. But BacT had way more wood, stone, and gold collected in that game. It's actually interesting. He had less food. It was similar, but less food, just a lot more of everything else. Obviously had the map control both on water and on land. Game number 6 is now on El Dorado. This was what I was thinking. If you don't use the Indian fish bonus on slopes, and you get the win, which Licks did, and Chinese is globally banned. You can see that on the left side of the screen, which is probably the best El Dorado civ. I think Indians gives you a strong start. Will he go for Indians on El Dorado? Indians on El Dorado. Fascinating. Whereas you have Licks, or sorry, you have BacT going for Mayans. Mayans is not bad for El Dorado. But the fact that Licks thought this far ahead and didn't pick Indians and saved it for this is interesting. So here's the bonus. If you don't know about this, I'm a tech tree noob. 1 second. Here's the bonus. Indian villagers, the fishermen work 15% faster and they carry plus 15. And on this map, these fish here have 525 food each and there's 2 of them. So that's over 1,000 food. This is... I always forget the order. It's either faster than Mongol Hunt or just as fast as Mongol Hunt or close, right? So very strong start. Now, El Dorado is such an interesting map, right? You have the water on the outer edge. You can fish. You have the water next to your town center. You can fish. You have the turkeys. You have 1 boar. And then you have all that precious gold and stone in the center. You only have 2 tiles of gold and 2 tiles of stone at your base, guys. There's the 2 tiles for Licks. And there's the 2 tiles of stone. So if you get gold here, I feel like the Meso play, the Mayan play, the Aztec play, the Inca play is normally to go heavy eagles. Indians can really struggle against that. On any other map, I would say that Mayans are better than Indians. But it's all about the start here for Licks. So with that in mind... I wonder what he'll do with his faster feudal age. It has to be a faster feudal age, right? Arlie says BacT is so close to the center T90. He is very close. That's actually a disadvantage for him, I would say, though. Like, I've seen it go both ways. Licks is pretty far, but like, the fact that you're this close to the center, if a castle goes up anywhere for Licks or towers, it's also close to the rest of the eco. It's a good point. Indians are not a mesociv. So sad, nobody knows their geography. Titus Pulo, as a caster, it's about how many words I feel is worthy to use in a certain point. So if I say Mesosieves, excluding Incas, because if you think about their history, it does not matter. Then it just. So in Age of Empires, I just call them a Mesosieve. It saves me from having to explain things that people probably already know. And if people don't know it, then that's life. But yes, you are technically correct. But if I had to be technically correct every time I was casting, I would quit very quickly. Trust me. And I also would encourage you, if you don't agree with my logic there, there's lots of games to cast. Hidden Cup 3 is open streaming. Go for it, my friend. I will host you one of these days, okay, Titus? Do you want me to call them Eagle Civs? When I've been calling it the same way for 4 years? I think I'll stick with this, but we'll see. Now Struggler says Inca's not a Mesosieve. Alright. They're called, we're gonna call them, the Bird Civs. There we go. The Bird Civs. Ooh! BacT just lamed the bird. He lamed the turkey. Alright. Nice work. Still waiting. Now, I think this is a misplay. Well, hold on a second. I was going to say that not taking the fish as Indians is a mistake. However, you could be saving the fish for later. He's taking the fish now. It's really hard to click these things, too. Okay, he's overfished that one. I can't click to see... Oh, there's 500 food remaining there. He's getting loom, and he'll be going to feudal. What about BacT? BacT has docked. He's making fishing ships. The same for Lix. And there we go. Perfect. T90 official, do donations go to the prize pool? Does anyone know? Question mark, question mark, question mark. If you would like to contribute in a sizable way to the prize pool, contact me and we'll make it happen. Like I've taken some community donations of larger amounts. Apart from that, it's just $1 from every sub goes to the prize pool. It's just way too complicated, and I don't know how people do it. And it's just not worth the headache for me to take like $5 or $10 here or there from the community. As much as I would like to, we're looking at over $50,000 already. So shoot me a message on Discord if you'd like to. What a insane feudal age time for Lix. I think the best strat is to go fast feudal for winning water normally on maps like this. But on El Dorado, you're so far apart, it might not be worth it because it takes so much time to get to your opponent. He's already on his way. Okay, it looks like a scout build now. Probably not going to be Man-at-Arms. But then again, he sent 2 to gold. And it's Lix. What's his sizable amount? See, I don't know. Like, the goal is, guys, I don't... As much as awesome as it is from the community to contribute, we have Microsoft on board now and some huge donors and sponsors. I don't want to take your money. Alright? I want you to buy a nice meal. And if you have a lot of money, buy 5 very nice meals over the 4 days. And enjoy the show, you know? But I guess using other examples, it is Man-at-Arms, and it is forward, and he's going to the wood line! This was a really bad question to answer. I should have known better as a streamer because it just leads to 5 minutes of talking about things other than the game. We're talking about the game now. Lix saved Indians for this, and that is the only wood line that BacT is on right now. That is huge pressure. Oh, man. So, BacT doesn't see the tower. He doesn't know about that. He's looking. He doesn't know. Don't build an archery range first thing, BacT. Because if you do, you won't have the wood for a lumber camp. You won't have the wood for a lumber camp. He's building the archery range. Will he now have the wood for another lumber camp? We're a low elo legends now, boys. Because we have to chop the straggler trees. Oh, the timing on that was brutal. He does not have the wood to build another lumber camp. Oh, and he's trying to drop it off? Oh, okay, he's got it. He's got it. Alright, there he goes. Wow, this is some insane pressure from Lix. That's a beautiful tower. And I wonder now what he does with his villagers. Maybe he'll just mine that stone. BacT's gold here is more than fine. His stone has just been towered. He has fish. Uh-oh. But how long will that last if Lix is coming in with the fire galley? So BacT cannot take stone as mines. He can see the fact that Lix is in the middle mining. And we'll see, he has options there. He can go for gold, or he can go for stone, or he can go for both. And BacT, guys, he's under pressure. He's housed badly. He's stonewalled the flank. He's that scared. Lix, will he react in time to deal with those fish? I think he might. Oh, he's attacking the dock right now. This is some insane pressure. And it's just amazing to me because it was all part of Lix's master plan. He went for this. He saved Indians. Intentionally. What? Did he not notice the fishing ships there? Well, that's a mistake. I guess he felt like the fishing ships went elsewhere. Oh, but here comes BacT. He could still build a tower. And now BacT is backed. And he arrives to the middle. And Lix is now building his own tower. Okay, so we have an archer. No fletching. We have 2 eagles. Okay, 2 eagles, 2 archers. Against scout and 2 man-at-arms. And, oh, Lix's strategy would have been perfect, but he didn't see the fish. BacT will be very happy about that. And now he can take some stone. Not too comfortably, though. Also, how many times do you see pro players not wall in their towers? Lix does not make that mistake. If that tower wasn't walled in, it would get battered down. BacT can't really take that stone, actually. Not with that tower, and Lix just relocates his mining camp now. Guys, it's not looking good for BacT. It's really not. Lix has good resources, so does BacT. They might have good castle times. But if Lix clears out these fishing ships, which I believe he's about to do, and then goes for a heavy fish boom himself because BacT isn't fighting on water, and maintains decent control in the center, everything is Lix. Lix. Notice it. There we go. Everything is better for the Chinese player. BacT did make 1 fire galley, and he has another one on the way behind this. This is what I mentioned earlier. You're closer to the center, that doesn't mean anything on El Dorado. It's not necessarily a benefit for you. But BacT is on the way to Castle Age. And also Lix, he's not attacking that fishing ship. Instead, he's going for the fire galley. Maybe he'll see it now. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Whoa, hold on a second. Where did all the resources go for Lix? Lix is going full feudal against this? He's adding more man-at-arms. Or he added 1 more man-at-arm, I believe. He's adding skirms that have fletching and armor. That's where his resources went. Fletching and armor on skirms. Now he figures if he can pressure the archers with the skirms, the man-at-arms can take care of the eagles. How is this fight going to go? So far, I love the micro from BacT. That was well done. Unfortunately, he'll probably lose an archer or 2 here. Unfortunately, it's not the easiest gold to secure, but I think maybe a town center in the next stage. He took out this tower so he could, he was able to batter it down in some way, so maybe he can take his stone and castle in the near future. It was going so well for Lix, but what happened? He had 600 food, and then it just all went into skirmishers and man-at-arms. Okay, now here's a tower. If Lix is going to win this game, he needs to tower that for sure. And he needs to continue to micro as he is. Are we going to see all-in man-at-arms? Okay, let's think about this. BacT needs gold to make eagles. He has 700 gold there, but I don't think he can comfortably take this gold. If he's committing to eagles, Lix could just make a whole bunch of man-at-arms, possibly. But then again, he's not going to be in Castle Age. This is so messy. Lix does have 700 food all of a sudden. So he stopped queuing up what he was queuing up, and he has safer economy back home. Now he's on his way to Castle Age. I think BacT for sure wants to drop a castle, though. So it's not the prettiest economy, sure. But the best way to clear out the towers is delete that mining camp and just drop a castle right here. And if you do that, then Lix will have gold problems. Like maybe he can take the golden stone over there, but... And then you have to deal with plumed archers instead of just regular archers. There's positives for Lix here, but guys, are we going to a game 7? Is it going to come down to one final game to see who gets that Hidden Cup 3 spot? Looks very much like it. It's what we wanted. It's what neutrals want. I can't say I prefer one player over the other. BacT is probably the player who's more well-known. Most of you have probably seen BacT before, and BacT is married, and he is going to be married to this gold long-term now. Beautiful castle. And I think this is the best castle spot. I also like how he's using the eagle to distract the tower fire. I think it's worth losing a few villagers here to get the castle up. It's halfway up. Oh! Big shot. There's not much you can do about this if you're Licks. If you try and attack the vills with your army, BacT's tower attacks the mining camp. BacT, use your tower, please. BacT, use your tower, man. Use your tower. Use your tower. Why is it attacking a building? Use your tower, BacT. No. Oh my god. That's a 93%. You can't lose a series like this. You can't get knocked out of the running for Hidden Cup 3 like this. You can't let it happen, BacT. Oh my god. Bodkin's on the way in for the tower too. That castle has to go up. Okay. Oh. Oh my goodness. Well, now what do you prefer? You lost a bunch of vills, but you'll have most of the control of the gold. I'll tell you what Dogao would do, because we saw it yesterday. Dogao would dock, and he would just go crazy fish boom with food and wood. And then he'd also take that 200 gold. Dogao showed you how to win when you don't have control of the center. Actually, that was round 1, Dogao did that. Seen a lot of players win without the center on this map. But if you don't expect to lose it, and you don't expand early, then BacT says, alright, well, I have the castle up. Now we need to make sure he doesn't take water control. I think that's what BacT is thinking right now. There's also... Oh, man. There's some eagles here. There's a mango. There's some archers. What do you have if you're in Lix's position to counter this? Slick move. Impressive to think about saving Indians. But in the mid-game, Indians are significantly worse than Mayans. Especially on a map like this. Oh, and it's a town center for Lix. He wants some gold. I think this will be a doubt TC. And the villagers will eventually die, right? Because they can't hide inside the towers. The towers are getting shot down. This feels very much like we're heading towards a Game 7. Can BacT continue this pressure and take us there? Oh, man. No Bodkin yet. So that hurts. But he's denying that 200 gold, and he's denying the rest of the gold. Like I said, I don't see these villagers getting to finish that TC. Crossbows in. You're looking at crossbow against plumes. Plumes are better. The plumes are in higher number. The villagers are fighting. I think this means that Lix is about to resign. 62 population for BacT. 47 for Lix. What a ridiculous series. Now, Lix is from China, so give him a second. Alright, give him a minute. Lix, Tim, Vivi, Yo. Well, Yo's not too bad, but certain players, they don't like to resign. I don't see why you would ever want to resign. No, he resigns! He taps out. He's dead. We're going to a Game 7. This started off. BacT won Game 1. Lix won 3 games in response to go up 3-1. And then BacT clawed his way back. We're going to Ravines for Game 7. Beautiful, beautiful set. Wow, these qualifiers have been a treat. Okay, so it all comes down to this. Winner of this game will participate with a hidden identity in the main event of Hidden Cup 3, March 19th through the 22nd. Every civ that they have used, which is listed on your screens, they cannot use again. The winning player's civ is in bold. The losing player's civ is not bold. I'm thinking BacT already went Mongols on Bay. Ravines does have some hunt. I think we see Mongols for Lix. Because he still has that available. The conversation throughout the whole best of 7 has been the civs that he's saving. I think it has to be Mongols. Wait. Wait a second. Oh, no. Okay. So I need to clarify something here. We do not see Gold Rush, and we do not see Hideout. Those home maps were not used by BacT and Licks. We go to Ravines. So, Mongols for Licks is what I'm expecting. What would you choose if you're BacT? He also can't go Franks, which is strong. Do you think he goes Persians here? You can go Persians, you can go Huns. It's an aggressive map. You probably want to go with a Cav Civ. I don't know. Maybe Archer Civs could be good. There's a lot of options out there. Well, before we get in here, guys, thank you for being a part of this. I don't know how many people are here watching this qualifier, but if you think this is good, just wait until we have the main event names ironed out. Here we are, guys. Game number 7. He's gone for Khmer! If you would have told me a year ago that in the Hidden Cup 3 qualifiers, best of 7 to get in the main event, that someone would choose Khmer for Game 7, I would have said, what are you smoking? And I'm not saying this because Khmer are bad now. Khmer are good now. But the fact that we're in a reality where Khmer are picked in a Game 7 decider, it just... What is this? Khmer were a bottom 5 Civ last year. This is so interesting to me. Anyways, BacT has gone for Khmer. And then Licks has gone for Mongols. Does not come as a surprise to me. Guys, Mongols hunt 50% faster. And there's a lot of hunts. You have 10 deer, so push them in. Look towards a fast feudal age of your Licks. You do have berries here. Again, Franks are a good option. Because of the berries, you have lots of gold, lots of stone. And then you start with outposts. It's very awkward in mid-game on this map. Because for the most part, players are always going to be pushing in their food. It's actually interesting to me that BacT does not. He's opting to scout instead. But mid-game, your farms are going to be in awkward spots, which means that Khmer could be good for this. With all these trees here, sometimes you can't farm comfortably there, and they're not as placed. They're basically T90 farms. And I feel like Khmer is the way to go, with that in mind. Now, map's pretty wallable as well, so if you're worried about Mongols, you can pretty much expect the Mongol scout to be pushing in the deer. And then you can wall up. Well, the wallability, if that's a word, of this map is something we'll review before the main event. But the way I see it, and I've spoken to main event players about this, yes, you can wall, but if you choose to wall, it's still a lot of walling, and you're giving up other areas of the map. So you have 2 stones and you have 2 golds next to your town center, but you see all these extra golds and all these extra stones on the map. It's so important here. So I've actually seen the walling player fall behind more often than not, due to lack of map control. You might survive longer, right? Because you have walls, but are you better off because of it? Not necessarily. Yeah, so recently with the patch the other day that Microsoft pushed out, the Mongols hunt was changed to 40% faster. We are not using that balance here, and we're still unsure on if we're going to use the new changes and the new patch in the main event. That information will come out in a few days. We're still talking about it, asking player opinions. There's a lot. I get that Microsoft wanted to stick to having a patch a month, and that's cool. But to do it right in the midst of the event and make changes is no bueno. So, we'll see. But for now, it's still 50% faster. There was no change to Khmer in the recent patch, except the fact you can't... What was it? It affects all tech games? I forget, something like that. The Licks is actually getting Loom before he goes up to the next stage, which is interesting. Because you don't see players get Loom a lot with Mongols before going to Feudal. Every other Civ you do. But the reasoning for it is because you're in the next stage so quickly. Ah, there we go. Okay, so he goes Feudal Age and then Loom. Exactly. There's no risk that your opponent will be at your base to snipe your vills. Now, BacT's getting Loom. That makes sense because the scout is on the prowl. Now, BacT will full wall his base. Now, what you do when you're up against full walls is really hard to decide sometimes. Because if you see walls, you might think, wow, I'm not going to make military then. That doesn't make any sense. But then they make military, and then you have nothing to defend yourself. So I think that we'll probably see a scout opening due to all the food. And then it always becomes, will Mongols transition into archers? Will they go cav archers, or will they go Mengadai as a follow-up? T90 seems very upset with Microsoft these days. Am I? Has there been some Some imposter complaining about Microsoft on my stream? If you think that, I'm not sure what I've done besides meme it up a little bit. Your ego is miserable. I have an ego too. Damn. Whoa. Hello? This is interesting, right? Because he's in feudal now. BacT, if you want to wall, that's fantastic, but can you quick wall now? Because that villager will go down. If you don't, I think that vill's dead. Now, a quick little doink, and then get out of here. Is BacT just going fast castle? Oh, fast castle with Khmer in game 7? I don't know if I should like it or hate it. It's a new map. Like, we don't... This is also different than the DE version. So if you want to play this with your friends, the DE version has so much more hunt. We changed that. We added more berries, we added less hunt, just so it wouldn't be Mongols every time. It's just so peaceful over here, and then here comes the pressure from Licks. And there's a tower. Okay, so when someone's walling like this, the counter to a greedy fast castle is a lot of towers. But at least BacT seems to know what's up. You know what's interesting? I saw BacT and Licks play practice. Wait, no. It was BacT and ACCM, I think. It was either ACCM or Say My Name. Two Vietnamese players who will actually be facing each other tomorrow. They were playing a game on this map against BacT, and it was ACCM who went for the fast castle and BacT who went for the towers. Oh my god. If I'm remembering this correctly, it was actually Khmer too for ACCM. Did anyone else see that? It depends where you're from. They stream in a weird time zone for most Europeans. But I actually believe it was ACCM who beat BacT while going Khmer full wall fast castle. And it was BacT who went scouts and towers. That's uncanny. I could just be lying to you guys to make it interesting. But no, I swear that's actually what happens. Huh. Alright, well, double palisade wall buys you some time. 600 food for BacT. He is on golds. This is pretty interesting stuff here. If there's a hole in the wall, BacT is... He's not dead, but he's way behind. He cannot afford to have a gap here. But he has these berries. He saved all the resources that he would want for last on the back. It's actually half decent. Now, where you go from here, I'm not sure. Okay, he knows there's a hole there. He double-checked. Licks behind this. Is not on stone yet. What? No hole, right? Oh, that would have been so bad if there was a hole. Alright, so Licks is just going home. I'm actually quite surprised he didn't go to stone. Like, now he's going to stone. But if he went to stone, he could follow that up with a tower and continue to force BacT into some walls. BacT is on the way to Castle Age. So weird and so greedy. We saw this in round 1 a bunch of times. Never did we see someone go for this strategy. T90 Viper says Vietnamese is going to be top tier Civ now. Well, looking forward to Viper picking Vietnamese in Hidden Cup 3. Let's see if he can put his money where his mouth is and pick Vietnamese. Can't wait. So 11 on food for BacT. We're talking the Goatvilles, the villager you can barely see. She's... What? That is really weird. She doesn't want anyone to know. Oh, she's overeating. She's really sensitive about how much she eats. She doesn't want people to know. But anyways, she's hiding in there. But that food will be gone. The berries are going to be gone. Obviously, you can farm and all that, but you only have one farm right now if you're BacT. So I just wonder, is it a straight boom? Does he want to town center here and go straight boom? It's so greedy. Again, when you wall on this map, there's not many good town center spots. I guess you could delete holes here and build a TC. I don't think we'll see any aggression from BacT for quite some time. Okay, you can place a town center there. Huh. Okay, so here's the difference. Lix is going to have less villagers when he arrives in Castle Age, but Lix's Mongols, Lix will be able to make Mangadai, because he's on stone. BacT is not pressuring him whatsoever. So Lix is about to click up. The other aspect of this is, BacT can't just start applying any pressure, because he only has 3 farmers. So all that wood, he's going for 3 TCs? I feel like, it's hard for me to judge, but this is really hard to balance your economy now. Because you need to have 6 farms for every town center. So you need 18 farms to keep these town centers producing at all times. So yeah, he's going to pump out a batch of vills, right? He'll get like 6 to 10 vills. But is he going to have the consistent food eco to keep them producing? Or is he just going to add the TC for them to be idle? And then you're giving Mongols a free ride to Mangadai, which is their unit. That is one of the best unique units in the game. Lix is fantastic with Mongols. Here come the T90 farms. Beautiful, but fascinating. So maybe a 10 villager lead, but no military yet for BacT. And what do you do as Khmer? Do you go elephants in this game? Can you get the economy to do that? Can you go siege? Can you go scorpions against Mangadai, who have a bonus against siege? Also, did I just hear the town bell? I think I heard the town bell. Look, see this? He has 3 town centers. This one isn't producing vills. This one isn't producing vills. It's very close, right? This is my point. So if he gets that farm number up, great. He's just accepted that he will give up momentum for the boom. There's the castle now for... Wait, that's a TC for Lix. Ah, Lix. This is a much better approach than an early castle. He knows what BacT is up to. So what he will do is he will add TCs so he's even there. And then he'll make the castle after the fact. That's actually quite smart. So if you go for the castle first, then you don't have the stone for the TCs for another couple minutes. I also like the scouting from Lix. Not auto-scouting. He's scouting manually. And he can see where the other resources are, which, as I said, very important on this map. But, guys, does anyone else feel very uneasy for BacT? I can see what he's set out to do here. And I'm not saying it can't work. But does anyone else feel like the... Does anyone else feel like giving up full map control is so risky? He is making a siege workshop, so I believe he'll actually make scorpions. Well, he has 49 vills versus 37. 4th TC now for Lix. So it's still delaying that castle. I really like that move because there's not a lot the Mangadai give him right now. Beyond maybe killing a few villagers. So you kill... Let's say you kill 2 villagers, best case scenario, with the Mangadai. Then... you snipe 2 vills, but you're behind 5 more because you didn't add the town centers. So, yeah, this is the correct approach. Hostage, I don't know, man. With Khmer, you're talking scorpions, you're talking elephants, right? So, Hostage was just asking what unit BacT is going to shoot towards. You know what might be the approach here? Maybe around 60, 70 villagers. BacT should add a stable and just make a few knights for map control with siege. Instead of going straight imp. Wait, did he just... Okay, he's made a stable. I don't know if this is for scouts to snipe any monks on the relics or what, but... I think pushing... Yeah, there's some knights. Okay, so take some map control before... Like, you don't want to be overly greedy, basically. Because if you take map control, then you can expand, which is your current worry. And then you decide on what you go with later. 17 farms for Lix. It's 27 for BacT, and he has Khmer farms. His TCs are pumping. He's pushing out with some siege. It's kind of working. Lix, it's time for the castle, man. Where's that castle going to go for him? Well, Lix is badly pop-capped at the moment. Now that slows down your boom even more. Does he have... I'd like to see a castle here. But then again, if you build it there, your golds are exposed on this side. Alright, he castles there. Is BacT on stone? If he spots that castle, what do you guys think about just going imp, building your own castle here, and trebbing that down? It's working. The Khmer boom, game 7, is working. Now, I'm beginning to get very upset because I know one of these players is going to be out. Like, there's no way around it. One player wins this game. Whoever wins this game is going to move on to the main event. Both of these guys, two very capable players. If you want more heartbreak, we'll have plenty of it. Velez and Rubenstock is up next. Tomorrow we have Say My Name and ACCM. We have Doubt and we have Tim, which will be a huge heartbreak. Nikov and Stark. I'm missing a set. There's definitely another one. What will the Imperial Age times be like? Fire and Barrels is the other one. Yep, that will be tomorrow. BacT. Guys, I think he's going to do exactly what I said. He's snagging whatever relics he can. Now, does he know about the castle spot? If he knows where the castle spot is, it's huge. He's getting Town Watch. I don't think Town Watch will show him where that castle is, right? If it does, he's the luckiest boy in the world. Oh! Oh, wait. That was the villager. Wait, we still have to wait. He wants to go Arbalest. Okay. Imagine if he sees that. Oh. Okay. Oh. Oh, it's so close. There's a Maganel push from Lix. Anything you can do to delay back to this point, the better for Lix. He has 3 relics, guys. 3 relics, and he's expanding TCs to other stones and golds. Oh, BacT Knight just spotted it. BacT Knight just spotted it. Lix doesn't have near the food he needs. Look how fast the farming is with Khmer. Oh, and the Knight also takes out the Maganel. It's almost as if that Maganel wasn't created, that castle wouldn't have been spotted. Because the Knight had to run over this way to take that out. Oh, and there's so many other areas of this economy that are exposed for Lix. You know what's a bad sign for Lix? When his score is lower than BacT, and BacT has invested all those resources into the next stage. And there's the castle! Wow. Should Lix in Feudal Age have been on stone when he went forward? These are the things that start to go through my mind. Should he have built more towers and pressured BacT more? Instead of just building 1 tower, should he have built another tower, broke through with the scouts, pressured, build another tower, and take that farm space out of the equation? Perfect castle spot for BacT. He is now going to be able to make a treb. And that unit that you want as Mongols, Lix did not make because he had to catch up with the boom. Can Lix hold now? The thing is, BacT also is going to have Arbalest. This is just damn near perfect from BacT. Because yes, Mangudai are strong, but you need a lot of time, you need the castles to produce them, and you need a lot of upgrades. And BacT has units, and numbers, and upgrades. To trade against, well, pretty much a non-existent army. Okay, Lix knows it, guys. Lix, man, what a horrible realization for him. He's just had to accept that he will not be able to commit to Mangudai. Which normally means disaster. Normally that means game over. He's making stables. And to make matters worse, BacT will see the stables. So BacT now knows, alright, well, he's going to go for Hussar or Cavalier. Oh, thank you very much for the relic. Doink! BacT is in such a good position. He was down 3-1. Yep, there's the armor now. And there's light cav. So it'll just be Hussar at the start for Lix. And he'll hope for the best with that. BacT went for such a passive strategy with Khmer. With freaking Khmer. Uh-oh. Oh no. He can't deal with this. He can't deal with the ARPs. Alright, I mean, that will buy him some time. It's worth losing those villagers to buy you some time. The repair vills here are just buying time. BacT has 150 population, and Lix has 106. I'm with you, Curlybeard. I doubted the boom as well. Easy for us to say, but I think as Lix slowly crumbles, I think he should have pressured more. He ran forward to build one tower. He had so much time to build more towers and continue to pressure in, but he didn't go to stone and continue the pressure. And he just let the Khmer player do what he wanted. It's also possible that maybe Lix could have made the castle earlier. Maybe he could have had those Mangadai. Maybe going for the TCs wasn't the approach, but one thing's certain. Khmer are a force to be reckoned with on ravines. No one picked them in round 1, but BacT just picked them in rounds 2, game 7, and it's freaking working right now. Now, Mongol Hussars are great. They have 118 HP. That's fantastic, but they lack the final armor upgrade. So, they're good and they're bad at the same time. So much eco for BacT. He's slowly starting to expand. Also, his relic count isn't going to be the worst either. He has 1. He could get this one, so it's not like it's 5 relics versus 0. And Lix has to hold. And BacT will know that Hussar was the choice for Lix. Now, with all these choke points here, BacT is just creating these nice little chokes for himself. Sorry, with all the wood lines, I guess, he's making chokes for himself. And he's also starting to go into elephants, which is definitely not something that you can fight with Hussars. Mangadai, fantastic against that. You can't make Mangadai. Your castles are crumbling. Lix! No, Lix! It's falling apart. My heart is breaking. He was up 3-1. And how does he engage against this? He'll try. Oh! Oh, he'll try. But BacT says, sorry. Good luck surrounding my units. Beautiful move from BacT. Beautiful. And elephants, even regular elephants, just tank so much. Where the Arbs can do damage behind. It's really looking rough now for Lix. He does have this out here. I like that. But BacT might be able to spot that one with the houses. Let's see. Oh, no, he can't see it. Okay. So there's a lot of resources out there. You almost need to go... I just don't know what you do, actually. I don't know what you do if you don't have Mangadai. Because you can't... Like, Camel won't work, Cavalier won't work. If BacT plays this perfectly, he should continue to push his advantage home and make it into the main event, possibly. Look at the production from BacT. Elephanto after Elephanto, Arbalest after Arbalest. The Trebs are now taking down the stables, so even if Hussars were the answer, he'll have less of them. I genuinely thought, we're looking at 3-1 up. I thought that BacT would maybe win the next game, and then he would lose to Lix. And the final score would be 4-2. I didn't think that BacT had it in him to fight back. I didn't think the reverse sweep was in him. Especially after seeing how good Lix was playing. And what's ridiculous, too, is we felt like, or I felt like, the logic from Lix was to save Indians, which he did, and he lost, and then he saved Mongols, which he did, and he's losing. So on these maps, does anyone even know what civilizations are best? I don't think so. It's ridiculous. It's amazing, actually. Is this the final fight? Oh, he's making Mongol monks. Oh no, 1 monk goes down. 2, 3. All the monks will die. He gets a few conversions, but guys, as the elephants continue to rumble and storm in here, as the final armor upgrade comes in, it's 62 military for BacT. It is 12 for Lix. Unbelievable series. Series of the qualifiers so far. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. So if someone chooses Khmer in the main event in Hidden Cup on Ravines, BacT confirmed. Remember every single time he used a civilization and how he played it, alright? Because this is the last time you will see BacT's name while he's playing. The main event, he'll have some hero name. We won't know. I think there's relics in there. Oh, no, there's 3 relics. I know why Lix is continuing to play. Oh, he's Yo, hold on a second. Lix has a lot of resources. Holy cow. But now these are elite battle elephants. You just don't kill that. You just don't kill that. One thing that BacT could do a little bit better is patrol some units to the sides. Hussar or elephant raiding would have cleaned up all of this a while ago. Does he really need to, though? I don't think so. Should Lix resign? Should he resign? I wouldn't yet. Is he dead? I'm 99.1% sure he's dead, but it's game 7. Just try and get some Mangadai out and see what happens. Maybe BacT has the throw of all throws, and, you know, you end up coming back. The thing is, we actually saw it before. It was Lix who had Persians against Mongols. You need so many Mangadai. I actually have not seen Mongols win a game yet on Ravines, which is a map where everyone's picking, or has been picking, Mongols. Because I remember Project Belgium against Rubenstock, round 1. Rubenstock went Mongols and ended up losing. So that's interesting to me. Yep, and here comes the expansion from BacT. It's like right after I say it, he realizes it. Beautiful. He's on the stone. He'll find the gold. He'll find that gold. He's trebbing the castles. It's the one thing that kind of sucks for BacT is he doesn't have the most mobile units. So the elephants are a bit faster for Khmer, but he just has to keep an eye on where his units are in the middle. 3 castles in the back of your base. They're elite Mangadai, too. That's incredible. The fact that he got to elite Mangadai somehow. Yeah, again, just keep an eye on the trebs, right? You don't want to lose those. These tanky elephants. Look at this economy. Resign, Lix. I feel so bad for the guy. Like, this guy played so good, Lix. They both deserve to be in the main event. Like, there's only 16 names, though. It's so competitive. And the best of the best get to participate in HC3. The elephants can take out TCs, too, so it's not as if he can make Hussars there to defend. There's a castle over here. I believe Lix was on this gold a moment ago. Not anymore. I want to see ballista elephants. I want to see a ballista elephant BacT. Chop his trees with ballistas. Let's go. He won't do it. There's no real reason to do it. He needs to make sure. He has double the score of Lix. Whew. Just like Hidden Cup 2, Lix just did not make it, right? I think he was beat by Stark 3-1. Lix played way better in this qualifier than I've really ever seen him play, to be honest. Because we're talking hybrid maps. Lix is a very good team game player, and Lix, oh wow, there's a small base over here. But Lix is also a fantastic, wow, and he's still staying alive. Unreal. He's also a good Arabia player. But I have not seen Lix play in tournaments with hybrid maps, and that's what Hidden Cup's all about. And the guy is just... I really wonder, how many people think he was training with Mr. Yo? Because Mr. Yo, teammates with Lix, they play together all the time, and I believe that that would make a lot of sense. And Yo probably wants a practice partner, so win or lose here, I think Yo would probably train with Lix. So maybe if Lix doesn't make it in, because he looks like he's going to die eventually, then maybe what happens is, anytime we see Lix's strategies used, it's Mr. Yo. Lix sniped the Trebs. Normally I'd freak out about that, but guys, his eco's awful. BacT has 82 farmers. Look at the food count. Holy Khmer. 10,000 food, here we come. Holy crap, that's crazy. 82 farmers with Khmer? Who needs gold? Just sell it all. That's ridiculous. And then 7. Lix has 7 farms. Oh no. Oh god. And the thing is, BacT also is getting relics. BacT also is he has gold to take. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. What's weird is how quickly the guys on top of the elephant move. I don't have any explanation for that. Might be some type of drug. Don't do drugs, kids. But apparently pick Khmer for Game 7s because... Jesus, this is crazy. I like how he's casually farming next to all the elephants that just destroyed his castle. I like how it got to the point where BacT has nothing else to do, so he's trebbing down the mining camp. Wow! What a series! Lix played so well. Unbelievable. Chat, Lix probably doesn't watch Twitch. He probably doesn't care. No offense. But can we please salute him before we get to BacT? Please salute him because that was incredible. His performance today, he was choosing different strategies. He was thinking out of the box. And to lose in a Game 7, especially, like, forget about the prestige. Forget about the competition. But when there's so much money on the line in Hidden Cup 3 main event, feels bad for him. Bible thumps, all that good stuff. Or bad stuff in this case. BacT, though, he has never struck me as a player who's had a strong mentality. In my opinion, he's always been a player who's had the skills, but when he needs to show up, when it really counts, he would falter. And here, he showed up. He was down 3-1. He made some really iffy mistakes, too. I remember the Slopes game. He made some weird mistakes. And the guy came back. He was down 3-1 and won 4-3. BacT is confirmed to be one of the players in the main event of Hidden Cup. Now I'm curious. Like, with the other best of 7s coming up, we'll have Velez and Rubenstock next. What are the Civ choices going to be in those best of 7s, and what are the Civ choices going to be in the main event? Because what we confirmed in this best of 7 is Indians is not necessarily best on maps where there's fish, when before everyone was picking it. There are ways to counter that. What we also confirmed is Mongols are not necessarily the Civ that always wins on maps with Hunt. Mongols, BacT lost with Mongols, and BacT lost with Indians, and so did Lix. How crazy is that? There's not been a best of 7 series with Shorefish and Hunt maps where that has happened before. That's ridiculous. Okay. Well, I'm going to add his name to the bottom now on the bottom right. This will be the peace out time for YouTube. YouTube, I hope you enjoyed that one. Again, a little bit of sellout. I have to let people know. Sorry, guys. The main event for Hidden Cup will have Hidden Identities, and it will be March 19th through the 22nd. The meetup information for the 2 European meetups, I have the big meetup announced tomorrow. The other ones will be coming soon, and I'll talk about that more on YouTube. But BacT is there. BacT is on the list, and we need to decide who the other, we don't decide. We find out who the other 5 names are to join. Hera, Leary, MBL, Tato, Max, Viper, Vivi, and Yo.